There's the team stand, the team from Portugal in green. They've got a couple of swimmers on today. And there is the call room where the swimmers will gather before they march out onto the deck for their races. Pretty relaxed this morning in that call room.
I think we do get to that point where, like we said, with day 5 now, everybody's a bit more comfortable with the environment. Some people still not got their campaigns underway. Some of the specialists, event specialists, stroke specialists, waiting for their main event still. But now people have been in Manchester, been through the process long enough, so they become a bit more comfortable with that call room. It doesn't seem quite as nerve-wracking as it is on that very first day.
Yeah, so we saw lining up there 100 breaststroke SB5. A couple of heats will be first. The women's 400 freestyle for the S9 class. Croatians are in the house. They've got their swimmer coming up fairly soon. A couple of swimmers from Croatia in this morning actually. The Germans have had a good few days here, picking up a few medals yesterday. They were on gold medal trail last night with Elena Kravzov. Here we are for the first event, 100 breaststroke in the SB5 classification. Getting S1 to S10 for those with the physical impairment. S1 being the most impaired and S10 being the least impaired, so right in the middle is the S5 classification. And it is SB because it's a breaststroke event. You see an SM in front of an event, it's a medley. SB is a breaststroke and the others just have S. So there we go. Germany in early on. Verena Schott goes in lane number 4. Line up for this heat 1, Anna Honter from Ukraine in 2, Lina Suzaganabati in 3 from Brazil. Verena Schott in the middle lane for Germany in 4. Thelma Bjorn Borgstetter goes in 5 for Iceland, and Maria Tsakona from Greece in 6. Here's Verena Schott. Will be favourite for this heat. There is 10 swimmers in this one. 5 in the first heat, 5 in the second. So just have to lose 2 swimmers to go down to the 8 that will contest that final tonight.
Yeah, going well in the early stage is there. Verena Schott of Germany. Should be the favourite for this heat. Oh wow. In lane number 2. That is Anna Honter of Ukraine.
Yeah, Verena Schott's been probably, well, class of this field you would say. She didn't go to the World Championships last year, but she was a silver medalist in London in 2019. She also won the title back in 2015. So, experienced campaign of Verena Schott for the German team. She's been on good form this week.
She has. She's turning there just behind Honter, but they don't need to do too much this morning. Schott already made the podium this week. She was disappointed not to make the podium in the 100 metres backstroke. She does a lot of training in Lanzarote. She flew straight from there to here for these championships. She'll be trying to set herself up for a good lane draw in the hope that she can race her good friend who goes in the next heat, Grace Harvey, in the final. They train together out in Lanzarote, so they know each other very, very well. And sometimes it is about getting that lane position. But Anna Honter going very well down at the bottom still for the Ukrainian in lane 2.
Yeah, Anna Honter, you know, on the medal podium a couple of times herself. Also featured in those Ukrainian relay teams. The 20-point relay team, they picked up 2 medals, silver and a bronze. And Anna Honter first into the wall in 147.70. So good swim again from Anna Honter. She's been coming back, posting decent times. That's a big improvement on the time that she entered this event for. We know that Anna Honter is a class act, and she touches the wall first ahead of Verena Schott. and Thelma Bjornsdottir in third position. They should make it to the final. Top three guaranteed a place in the final.
Yes, we wait on those results. As we know, we've had a few upsets in the heats this week, waiting on those, but Hunter looked very good.
Very similar strokes, isn't it? Hunter and Verena Shaw.
Yeah, the Ukrainians got good history in this event. Yelizaveta Mereshko, Hunter's compatriot, done very well previously in this 100 breaststroke SB5 event.
Yeah, and Hunter takes that first heat. She will be in the final. Verena Shaw in second. Make the final as well. And Thelma Bjornsdottir will be in there 1:56.67. So there are the 5 swimmers. Great shot there of the 5 swimmers lining up for this second heat. As you said, Liz, Grace Harvey from Great Britain, the host nation, is in this one. Right in the middle. It's Fedorenko in 2 for Ukraine. Mauriyu from Japan in 3. Grace Harvey in 4. Ariana Talamona in 5 from Italy. And Ayala Tufik going in lane 6 for Egypt.
Well, very similar starts from Harvey and Talamona. Harvey trying something new. She used to go from the block, but as we see with so many of these swimmers in the SB5, S5 classification group, is sometimes quicker to just get up and into your stroke as quickly as possible. And Harvey has done that. She's going well here through 25 meters with a slight lead over Ariana Talamona of Italy, up there in 6. Talamona getting her individual campaign underway here in Manchester. She did swim in the relay earlier this week, but Harvey looking good as we go down into the one and only turn.
Yeah, Grace Harvey had a great World Championships last year, taking the title in this one. But she is dominating this one. 49.99 for Grace Harvey as she goes out into a big lead here. Talamona just in second place, so getting a little bit stretched out now. Mauriyu in third, just ahead of Fedorenko. As we said in that previous heat, Grace Harvey is pretty much safe into the finals. Doesn't have to work too hard. Talamona with that breathing to the side on the breaststroke. We've seen that from a few of the Italians this week.
Yeah, we talk about how you see one individual employ a technique that works, and actually it's worth trying, a bit like with Grace Harvey, and trying that new starting technique. You can see Talamona at the back there, breathing to the side, but Harvey has led this one out from the front.
Well, just going to be into the final, 145.14 for Grace Harvey. Talamona in second will make it into that final. So Grace Harvey, the host nation, comfortably in. Mauriyu will be in as well. She finishes in third position there. And Fedorenko in 207. She should make it into that as well, I think. Fourth place, I think it might be 4 from the first heat and 4 from the second into the final. And Tufik, the final swimmer to complete a distance. Grace Harvey looks pleased with that performance this morning, 145.14. Comfortably into that final, Liz.
Yeah, she didn't have to push it too hard there. We can see the starts. Harvey and Talamona pretty similar off that start. In the second 50, it was Harvey that used that strength. She is the breaststroke specialist. This is now her #1 event. Paralympic silver medalist, world champion last year. She's got a versatile program, but this is the one that she focuses on the most.
Nod of the head for Grace Harvey, a family in the crowd. We saw them a little bit earlier, and Grace Harvey 145.14. She will lead the qualifiers, I think, into that final. Ariana Talamona in second position in that heat. And there are the finalists. Grace Harvey Anna Hunter and Verena Schott. Talamona in 4th position. He's final in prospect there for that one, Liz.
Yeah, Harvey just a little off the best that she's been this year. Schott just a little bit off the best that she's been this year, about a second. Hunter was probably the surprise of that heat this morning. She's put herself in a good position to get in the mix to fight for those medals.
There's another one of the Home Nation swimmers, Tony Shaw of Great Britain. One excellent World Championships Tony Shaw had last year, winning this title in the 400 freestyle, S9. Driving for this one, Susana Vega, Portuguese swimmer, into Jialing in 3, Tony Shaw, the world champion, in 4, Summer Schmidt, USA, in 5, Yulia Gordichuk, Israel, in 6, and Camille Rodriguez Ferreira Cruz from Brazil in 7. Well, Tony Shaw just been headed in the early stages by Summer Schmidt. Tony Shaw, world champion from last year. So preparation for this one hasn't been great, the Great Britain swimmer.
No, we're finding a lot of the teams have been hit with various injuries or illnesses. Summer Schmidt's team, the United States of America, they've had some significant absences for various reasons at this World Championships, whether that be injuries, illness, pregnancies, and so and Tony Shaw, whilst not swimming for the USA, is in a similar situation in that she's had some time out of the water, and she's here just seeing what she can do, really. And I think she's already outperformed what she planned, what she thought she might be capable of. But because racing can sometimes do that to you. But it's a year out from Paris. We're seeing some teams are at full strength, some teams very depleted. But there's a year to go until those Paralympic Games. But of course, there is that opportunity for countries to win slots for places on the Paralympic team. So not specifically the athlete, but if a nation has a swimmer that finishes in the top 2 in a Paralympic event at these World Championships, then they do qualify a slot for their country for consideration for the Paralympic Games next year. So that's why we're seeing some teams bringing larger squads, flooding those opportunities. And that's why we're hearing around poolside some teams a bit upset when they maybe haven't been able to bring their full complement of athletes. But at the moment, Tony Shaw still going well here. Summer Schmidt did get that bronze medal last year behind Tony Shaw in Madeira. She's going well for the United States there. Also going well is Zhu Zheling. She's having a good championships here in Manchester.
Yeah, just an example. Zhu Zheling, the swimmer we haven't seen for a couple of years. The Chinese team brought some great young swimmers that we haven't seen before. They've really kind of set their events alight. But other swimmers we haven't seen for a few years have reappeared again. Zhu Zheling is one of those. So again, it's important for the countries to earn these slots. It's quite an easy way of earning the slots, quite straightforward. The other way of earning the slots, of course, as we progress towards Paris next year, is in the world rankings. But that's not really in your hands, is it? It's all dependent on other people in those world rankings. So quite a straightforward way of earning places for your country at these World Championships.
In terms of understanding the process, right? It's not always that easy to finish first or second in your race. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
This is in terms of how easy it is to understand the process, this is definitely one of the most straightforward ways. You're not left to chance, you're not left to a formula or a permutation. Shaw going over first 3:43.44, Zhu then 3:44.09, with Schmidt currently in third 3:45.16. But Gordichuk just behind Yulia Gordichuk of Israel. She's had good success in the European Championships in this event. And right now, the 4 out in front look fairly comfortable. There is one more heat, and of course it isn't necessarily about position in a heat in swimming, it's always about the time. But Tony Shaw giving herself a chance here, as is Zhu Jieling, to make sure that they are in that top two.
Yeah, Tony Shaw looks very good indeed at the front of this field. It is Zhu Jieling just following her for second. It's a good tight tussle for third position. Summer Schmidt and Yulia Gordachuk side by side here in the far lane. Gordachuk finishing very strongly, actually. European medalist, as you said, Liz, bronze medalist at the last European Championships in 2021. But Tony Shaw, the world champion, into the wall first, just under the 5-minute mark for Tony Shaw. Zhu Jieling in 5 minutes, 0.47, 5:01 for Julia Gordachuk, 5:02 for Summer Schmidt. And in fifth position is Susana Veiga, sprint specialist from Portugal, in lane number 2, and Rodriguez Ferreira Cruz in lane number 7. So, good swim there from Tony Shaw, taking that heat, the only swimmer under the 5-minute mark. And she looked reasonably good there, Tony Shaw. Nice to see that for the GB swimmer.
It's always good for the home nation to get off to a good start, but the second heat is quicker this year. There's a lot of swimmers that have been quicker in the year. 4:56 is 5th in the world this year. Gordachuk, she finished really well in that last 25 metres. Her and Schmidt were tied at with 25 to go, and then Gordachuk just making sure of that. We've seen some finals come down to the touch.
Yeah, Tony Shaw takes that first heat. Zhu Jieling in second position. They should be safe into the final. Gordachuk and Schmidt look in good positions here, just over the 5-minute mark, but there are some fast swimmers in this second heat. Larida Maldonado in 2, Emma Micic goes in 3, Lakeisha Patterson, Paralympic champion, goes in lane number 4, Sophia Konkoly, the World Championship and Paralympic silver medalist, goes in 5, Agata Pauli from France in 6, and Brock Whiston in the outside lane for Great Britain. So look at this one, lane 2 at the bottom of your screen, lane 7 at the top. And the yellow cap of Lakeisha Patterson in lane number 4, right in the middle.
Well, Lakeisha Patterson will be keen to put in a good performance in this 400 metres freestyle. She is the fastest in the world this year. This is one of the events she did miss at the Funchal last year. She got COVID, so couldn't swim in a lot of her events. She did make it back in time for a relay performance right at the end of the programme, but I know she was frustrated because she'd put in some really good preparation and then wasn't able to test out where she was. But not this week. This week she's here. The Australians had their preparation camp in France, so they've got some good final work in there, and now she's here. Going well with her down this first 100 is Mecic, and it is Patterson going over second, just behind Mecic. Mecic's got the touch. There is less than 0.2 of a second in it.
Yeah, Mecic is a finalist at last year's World Championships. And I haven't seen many medals from Croatia this week, just one I think so far. The 16-year-old Emma Mecic is trying to add another one for the Croatian team. We saw the supporters in the crowd a little bit earlier on, and Lakeisha Patterson leads out Emma Micic. Brock Whiston going well at the top. It's very close there for third position. These group of 3 swimmers in a little cluster at the top. Larida Maldonado just a little bit off the pace in lane number 2. But these two going well, Emma Micic and Lakeisha Patterson at the front of the field. They come down to the halfway point. Lakeisha Patterson is very much her focus event, Paralympic champion in Tokyo 2021, world champion in 2019 in London. As you said, Liz could not defend that title last year, so she was really disappointed, but looking to make amends here.
Yeah, and she's looking strong here. She will have seen that first heat, so she knows what is necessary if she wants that centre lane for the final. Having a good third 100 here is Sophia Conkley. She was a silver medalist last year in Funchal behind Tony Shaw. She's started to move through now. She is in third position in this heat. Mecic still going well for Croatia. She goes over second. And Lakeisha Patterson, this is, we talk about people having their preferred event. This for Patterson is the one. She's waited till day 5 and extra impetus and motivation, having missed it last year, as we said. She's looking good here in these heats.
Yeah, coming up to the 300 mark for the Australian, Lakeisha Patterson. Wearing that yellow hat now. Yellow hats of the Australians were a little bit late to arrive.
They were, if you watch any of the footage from heats of day 1 and day 2, they were wearing white, but fear not. Everything has been restored.
That's right. Just felt wrong to say the Australian in the white cap was leading various races.
It also made it harder to spot them, but not today. It's easy to spot Lakeisha Patterson. 1, she's in that yellow hat, but 2, she's got a significant lead over Mecic. Conkley still working her way back. She's now slowly reeling Mecic in. She doesn't necessarily need to catch her here, as Patterson goes over for the final time, 4:12.27. Mecic 3.5 seconds behind, and then Conkley just behind her. Brock Whiston of Great Britain currently in 4th position, with Agatha Powley in 5th.
Yeah, well, Patterson, I think it's going to be the fastest we've seen. Looking very good, Lakeisha Patterson. She is heading for home now. Mecic's just going to be overtaken, I think, by Conkley in the closing stages. So the Croatian just trying to hold on here, but Patterson will take that one, and she will go into the final in first position. Is it going to be Conkley? No, Mecic holds on by 3/100ths of a second. That's the top 3 times. All faster than the first heat, and well, might have 4-5 times faster than the first heat there. Brock Whiston getting in for 4th, and in 5th place Agatha Powley, all under the 5-minute mark list. So that was very swift second heat.
Well, we knew that the quicker times were in this heat. Only Zhu from the first heat was in the top 5 in the world this year, and so they've had the luxury in the second heat of knowing what they needed to do. It can sometimes go wrong, but not today. Thumbs up from Patterson. She'll be happy with that. She looked comfortable.
Lakeisha Patterson takes that second heat. Emma Mecic wins that close contest with Conkley for second. There are the finalists here. Lorida Maldonado makes it in as well. So all 6 from that second heat made it in. Only Tony Shaw and Zhu makes it in from the first heat. Wow. And there's Manny on the poolside as the swimmers are coming out.
He's making his way around the pool, isn't he? He was up here yesterday.
He was. He had a Paris mascot. Did you ever find out what the Paris mascot's name was?
He should go outside while the sun's shining, because he doesn't know how long it's going to last.
Oh, he's got shades on, hasn't he?
Yeah. He looks good. He looks happy. He's dancing. There is a bit of dancing going on.
He always looks happy. He's got that fixed grin on his face. Yeah.
Happy pool, this Manchester Aquatic Centre. Lots to smile about.
Well, what's to smile about? For the women, the 400 freestyle, certainly in that second heat. They all qualified from that second heat. Great performances there. Here's the first heat of the men's. Their way, another Australian in this one. Belgium, France, Australia, and Germany. It's Hugo Didier, France. He will see this has a good chance for him to take a gold medal, a couple of silvers this week. This man Tim Hodge has already been the top of the podium in the individual medley. So Sam de Visser of Belgium in 3, Hugo Didier of France in 4, Timothy Hodge, Australia in 5, and Maurice Vetterkamp from Germany in line number 6. Hugo Didier, medalist at the major championships in the past few years. He's a European champion, Paralympic and World silver medalist, the Frenchman. Timothy Hodge, again, showing with that yellow cap, has been in great form this week, winning that individual medley. So silver medal in the butterfly as well. But 4 in this first heat and 5 in the second, so they only have to lose 1 of all the swimmers. So it remains to be seen how hard these swimmers go in the heats today.
Yeah, and then you can see Timothy Hodge, excellent 200 metres individual medley, as you said, broken the world record 3 times this year in that one, but made the World Championship podium for the first time in the 100 metres butterfly. So he's floating on a wave of adrenaline and success at the moment. Hugo Didier sort of building his way into the week. He's had a good week and an excellent finish in the 100 metres freestyle last night. He turned 4th and came through for a clear silver medal. So the Frenchman has got good form. He's got very strong finishes. They're tight on the world rankings this year. Less than 0.4 of a second separating Didier and Hodge. Now they don't need to go all out, as you said, Paul. When there is only 9 of you, then you only need to drop 1. It's a little easier to play the tactic game in the heat, because as long as you're in a good position and you get that touch at the end, it's not so important. Whereas, as we saw in the previous event, when there's more of you, time does matter, because in swimming, it isn't about where you finish necessarily in your heat to qualify. It's about the 8 fastest times across all heats progressing to the finals. And at the moment, Didier and Hodge keeping each other company.
Yeah, they did a good, both of them did good performances in the 200 individual medley. Hodge taking the gold and Didier taking the silver medal. But they are very well matched here as they go past halfway in this 400 freestyle. Sam de Visser having a good swim, the Belgian. He's ahead of Maurice Vetterkamp. Maurice Vetterkamp, of course, with that silver medal in the breaststroke earlier on in the week. Stefano Raimondi taking that one ahead of the 2 17-year-olds, Hector Denaye and Maurice Vetterkamp. And again, some of these young swimmers coming through, Liz, hitting the medal podium, working their way towards Paris, getting great experience.
Yeah, we've talked about how we're working into this condensed Paralympic cycle. So we're 2 years from our last Paralympic Games, but only 1 year to the next. And so rather than people having had a lot of time out and building their way back in, which is typically what we might see at the World Championships 2 years out from like a Paralympic Games having just passed, we're seeing teams bring a lot of youngsters who are performing and showing great promise for the Paralympic Games next year, really delivering. And then we're seeing, obviously, our experienced campaigners getting almost straight back in after Tokyo. They didn't take as much time off as they normally do. So the times that we are seeing, the quality of the races that we are seeing here are very high indeed.
Sam de Visser making a little bit of a move on the leading 2 here as they come into that final turn. Hugo Didier's led pretty much all the way. De Visser, though, well, looking very good here. Doesn't have to go that fast in this heat. Hodge looks like he's settled now for 3rd position. With that yellow cap of Australia as De Visser and Didier come through. Well, having said that, Hodge maybe just like a little bit of a spurt on there, but he's let the other 2 go, I think. Didier and De Visser into the wall first, with Hodge in third place, sorry. Didier taking that one. Sam de Visser really worked hard there in the last 100, the Belgian.
He did a great swim there, as we just see Vettercombe come in. Sometimes when you're feeling good in a heat like that, if you're in a position like de Visser, you are in an outside lane, you're like, why wouldn't I just carry on, go for it? And he's gone 4:19, came in with a time of 4:24. So yeah, sometimes if you are feeling good, you're like, well, why not?
Yeah, Belgium was World Championship finalist last year. He was a European finalist the year before, so this is another major championships for Sam de Visser. He's performed really well there, just behind Hugo Didier in that first heat. So Didier 4:18.88. Sam de Visser under the 4:20. He'll be delighted with that one. Hodge just over the 4:20. He should be safe into the final. Vettercamp will have a close eye on this second heat. In the second heat, the world champion goes Simone Barlam from Italy, Eric Tandalzo from Ecuador, Jacobo Garrido Brun from Spain, Simone Barlam, Italy, Brendan Hall, Australia, and Barry McClements from Ireland. Barlam was a multi-eventer, didn't get underway until day 3 of these championships, but he won. Well, he did the freestyle treble last year in the World Championships. Freestyle quadruple if you count the relay. 50, 100, 400. Champion from Madeira last year. So Italy, the blue cap. Brendan Hall with that yellow cap has a great record in this event over the years. He absolutely dominated the event for almost a decade, Brendan Hall. Took the world title in 2010, 2013 and 2015, the Australian.
Yeah, this is, again, we talk about people with their favourite events. This is definitely Brendan Hall's favoured event. He is the world record holder. Set that world record when he did win the championships in Montreal back in 2013. And if anyone is going to challenge, if Barlam is going to be challenged on any of the freestyle events, as you said, he did the Triple Crown. If he's going to be challenged, it's probably this 400 metres freestyle that there's the most opportunity for someone to topple him off that top step of the podium. But again, this event is an example of, we've seen this week, we've seen some fields have been reduced in size. With this one, we've only got to lose one swimmer to make the finals. But the quality of the people here is top of the world. Like, all of the best swimmers are here. So it's still, even though it's a small field by S9 men's standards, it's a quality field, and you can expect a really tight and exciting race tonight.
Well, 3 world champions right here in the top 3 positions. Simone Barlam took the title last year. Jacobo Garrido Brun from Spain took the title in 2019. Brendan Hall, as I said, already 3 world titles to his name. So in the last 6 editions of these championships, there's champions in 5 of them right there in this heat. Brendan Hall looking good there, 209.01 at the halfway point. Barlam looking very relaxed indeed. Just such a smooth stroke, such a great technician, Simone Barlam.
He is, but we can see their Hall's got very long levers as well. In that sense, they're quite similar. Obviously, Barlam has the power of the sprint events, the 50 and the 100. But Hall, he really pushed this event on so much in the time that he was at the top, dominating it. And again, we said that world record has stood for 10 years. So he really was impressive. He is such a good servant to the Australian team, and he's got a good backstroke as well. And Brendan Hall's always there. Like, he always manages to pull out the performance when it really matters.
Now, again, we always speak like Brendan Hall's been around forever. He made his debut back in 2008. He's only just 30 years of age.
Yeah, I remember him in Beijing. He was one of the young team, and we've talked about this again. A lot of the squads, they bring their youngsters, they take them, immerse them in the experience, whet the appetite, they go away, they train really hard, and then they're rewarded for that investment of time when they start delivering. And Brendan Hall definitely did that for Australia. He's still leading the way here as him and Barnum go over, separated by less than 0.7 of a second. Again, quite relaxed for these two experienced athletes at the front of this heat. Garrido Brun looking good as well for Spain. He's just a bit further back as he goes through the 25-metre mark. They are your top three in this heat.
Yeah, Brendan Hall looks like he is going to come home in front unless Barlam has other ideas. They're going to come into the wall absolutely together, very similar, and Hall takes it 3/100ths of a second. Garrido Brun safely through as well. He is in third place in that heat. So 4:22.77, 4:22.80, and 4:26.25. Two swimmers 4:22 range will take it into the final. There's Jacobo Garrido Brun. He'll be safely into the final as well with 4:26. Three of these swimmers, as you would expect, have gone significantly faster in the past. Fourth place in that one was Ireland's Barry McClements, so he should make it into the final. 4:34.58. There's the front of the field there. Brendan Hall and Simone Barlam, very, very similar. They swam that one race with very similar tactics. Didn't have to do very much. Looked very relaxed, those two.
Yeah, they know that there will be a battle in the final. Save as much energy as possible for that one.
So Brendan Hall makes his way into the final. First heat was faster. Didier taking that one ahead of Sander Visser and Timothy Hodge. Hall, Barlam, Garrido Brun, they will make it fourth from the first heat and fourth from the second. That touch from Barry McClements was important there at the end. Just got in ahead of Eric Tandasso by about a second. So McClements will take his place in the final. But the big guns are all there, Liz.
Yeah, and it promises to be a really exciting battle. They can all go quicker tonight.
So the S10 100 butterfly will make their way out. I think we only have, we're due to have 6 in this first heat. I think we only got 5 taking the start. S10, those swimmers with minimal physical impairment. And there is the lineup. We are missing lane number 4. So no Poppy Wilson from Australia, but we do have Lily Fox-Mason, Alicia Scortacchini, Lisa Kruger, Olivia Jablonska, and Monrudi Kangpila. So 5 in this first heat, 6 in the second. They have to lose 3 to go down to 8 for that final. There's Lisa Kruger. You'll be the favourite for this one in lane number 5.
Well, going well from the start. It is Scortacchini in lane 2 for Italy. Lisa Kruger, another swimmer with quite a busy programme at these World Championships. She's looking good in this first 50 metres, going in lane 4 for the Netherlands. She worked hard on the 200 metres individual medley. She was a bit disappointed with the time that she went. She got a silver medal, but she was disappointed with the time, so she'll be looking here to make amends for that. She's looking strong down this opening heat of the butterfly.
Yeah, Jablonska going well for Poland as well, right up there at the top. Scortacchini had a great swim in the 50 freestyle, the blue cap of Italy. Those 3 should be safely through, I think, to the final. You would expect so. Lisa Kruger just easing it back here in the closing stages. Decent time though for Lisa Kruger, 108.28. looked relaxed, and that was good time for her. Fastest time that we've seen her go this year. Second place was Jaborska from Poland, 1:11.08. Lisa Kruger looking kind of like, really? Is that the time?
I think that happens sometimes with butterfly. Like, the less you feel like you're going easy, you actually go faster, because the more you try, the tighter you get in the shoulders, the more rushed it gets. Whereas she looked really chilled there, as in she was enjoying the heat. She was relaxed, she was long, and the time came, and you can tell by her face at the end, she definitely was surprised. And sometimes as a swimmer, you're like, why is it that when I put so much more effort in, I don't get that much more time back?
Well, Lisa Kruger pleasantly surprised by her time there in the heat. 1:08.28 for the Dutch swimmer. Jaborska in second, Scottakini in third. They should be in the final, I would expect, but as we've seen earlier, you can never tell what this second heat is going to do. We saw swimmers in the 400 in heat number 2 a little bit earlier, all qualify for the final, so 6 swimmers in this one. Kasenka Hotz, Katie Cosgrove, Faye Rogers, Jasmine Greenwood, Ferreira Zapata and Elodie Laurenti. So Faye Rogers being an addition to the GB team this year. This is very much her number 1 event, Faye Rogers, in lane number 4.
Yeah, this is the event that she qualified in. Swims very similarly to Lisa Kruger, who saw go in the first heat. Going well in that yellow hat for Australia in 5 is Jasmine Greenwood, but it will be Rogers that touches first at the turn. 31.01 ahead of 31.46 for Greenwood, with Cosgrove 31.96 in third for Canada.
Yeah, Greenwood was second to Lisa Kruger in last year's World Championship, and in the Paralympic Games she took silver as well, the Australian, but she's behind Faye Rogers on this occasion. So Faye Rogers going really well here. She's got 2 bronze medals already in her World Championship debut, Faye Rogers. This is the one she was looking for though, and she's looking very strong indeed. 105.54, and that's a European record in the heats this morning for Faye Rogers. Well, that has sent a message to the rest of the field. Greenwood it is in second in 1:08.45, and in third the young Hungarian Kasenka Hotz in 1:09.91. So Greenwood looks at that time. This Kasenka Hotz. Faye Rogers looked really good in that heat swim.
She did look good, and it's a real opportunity here for someone to take the chance and become the world champion. Sophie Pascoe used to hold, well, she does hold the world record in this. It's 1:02.60. She now swims down in the S9 classification, but Michaela Jenkins of the United States of America, not here. She's been quite dominant in recent years in this one, and so the opportunity and a great morning swim from Faye Rogers.
Yeah, really good swim. European record for Faye Rogers of Great Britain. Jasmine Greenwood in the second position in that heat. Kasenka Hotz in third, and Katie Cosgrove should make it to the final as well, the Canadian. All the way down to Elodie Laurenti, great French swimmer, making a comeback. We didn't even mention Laurenti making a comeback now after having a child. She retired. She's decided to come back and have a bid for Paris.
Yeah, her main focus will be the 400 meters freestyle, but these 100 flies definitely help those endurance events.
100 butterfly for the S10 for the men. A few more swimmers in this heat now. 6 in the first heat, 7 in the second. As Manny comes along behind us, Liz.
He does. Thought he was coming in, man. You could take my
in,
spot
yeah.
for a little bit. I don't think he speaks though, does he?
No, I haven't heard him speak. Nice to have a Manchester accent on the comms for a little while.
I can switch out.
Just just have to stay put today, I'm afraid. He's gone.
Okay, well, good, because this race is pretty stacked. It's going to be a good set of heats for this men's S10 100 metres butterfly.
6 swimmers. David Levesque into experienced Spanish swimmer. Ricardo Minciotti in 3. Igor Nemchenko, the Ukrainian, in lane number 4. Alex Safi, Commonwealth Games silver medalist, World Championship bronze medalist for Australia in 5. Alan Ogorjalik goes in lane number 6 from Poland. He's had a good week so far. Ogorjalik and Nieto completes the lineup right up there at the top. But it is Nemchenko off to the best start, I think, just ahead of Minciotti.
Yeah, Minciotti led for about 35 metres down that first 50. He looks strong. That blue hat in the middle of the 3 at the front there, going well. It is Nemchenko. He looks very strong indeed. The yellow hat of Alex Safi of Australia will try and fight to come back, but the heat looks like it is going to Nemchenko.
Yeah, Nemchenko into the wall first here, and he will be in 58.09. Minciotti holds on for second, 59.24, and Alex Safi 59.41. Not on ahead from Nemchenko. Minciotti in second place there. Should be good enough for the final for Minciotti. Alex Safi in third, and David Levesque under the 1 minute mark. So 4 under the 1 minute mark. Is that going to be enough for this final? Strong second heat. 5 swimmers, entry times under the 1 minute mark. So David Levesque 59.90 might be in a little bit of danger.
Well, Safi was down at the turn. Nemchenko had that excellent start. He's pushed down that start by Levesque and Minciotti, but then when he came off the wall, he had that advantage. But Safi finished very strongly at the end. Minciotti, he was good too. He got on the right end of a touch. For once, he often gets on the wrong end of a touch, doesn't he? Not today, though.
Yeah, that was the story for Minciotti in the breaststroke in the other day, but Minciotti in second place this time behind Nemchenko and Alex Safi in third. The second heat comes out. Second heat have the advantage of being able to know what that first heat times were, so they know that 4 swimmers under the 1 minute mark. Tadeusz Strasik, Czech swimmer in lane number 1. Alex Elliott goes in 2 for Canada. William Martin for Australia in 3. Stefano Raimondi, world champion. He goes in lane number 4. There he is, trying to add another gold medal to his tally this week. Cole Pearce from Australia in 5. Flora Marie in 6 for France. And Aki Dominai from Japan in 7. Apologies. So William Martin goes in lane number 3. Cole Pearce in lane number 5. The 2 Australians on either side of the blue cap of Italy.
And they get away, and the last 2 pop up is Raimondi, that blue hat in lane 4, breathing to the side. He's out in front at the moment, going well. Oh, the Australians. Cole Pearce, silver medalist in the World Championships last year, behind Raimondi. Will Martin, the Paralympic champion in the S9 category back in Tokyo, now swimming in the S10 categories. And Marais, France, going well up in lane 6 down that first 50. Pearce has had a good turn though. Raimondi still leading, but it's all getting pretty tight at the front.
Yeah, Raimondi's a very experienced campaigner, and he's got a big programme of events here. We saw him earlier in the week, just conserve his energy and maybe in one of the outside lanes for some of those finals he's taking place. He's not leaving much to chance here. He's into the wall first, 58.48. Cole Pearce and William Martin, the 2 Australians, in second and third position. Flora Marais Also under the 1 minute mark, as is Alexander Elliott, but I think the Canadian might just miss out here. 59.96 for Elliott in 5th place. Not sure that is going to be good enough. But Raimondi and the 2 Australians look good at the front of the field there.
They did, and as we've said, that advantage of going in the second heat means you do know what has happened, but then when a heat does take it a bit easier, which that heat did, it does bunch up and that touch becomes vital, and Raimondi just showed that he knows that, and he put in, it wasn't a huge spurt at the end, but he definitely stretched out to get that touch. It was very close at the 50 metre mark, but there will be more in the tank for these swimmers tonight.
Raimondi, Cole Pearce, William Martin is the top 3. Flora Murray should make it in with 59.62. I think that Elliott might just miss out here with 59.96, and he does 6/100ths of a second. And David Levesque will make it into another world final. David Levesque, first world championship medals for him in this event back in 2006. David Levesque last won a medal in 2017, the Spanish swimmer who won the silver ahead of one Felipe Rodriguez.
Did he?
He did. Do you know your husband won a bronze medal at the World Champs?
What,
Fly?
100 fly? No.
Well, you know now.
I should do. Yes, I knew.
He's a good 100 fly swimmer, isn't he? Swimming in the relay today for the Brazil team.
Olivia's in the heats.
Heats for the S4, I should say, 50 freestyle. Again, 2 heats of this one. There's the champion in the backstroke from yesterday, Cameron Leslie of New Zealand. He goes in lane number 4. Ariel Magliar, one of the Magliar twins, he goes in 5. Beggiato from Italy in 3, and Andres Ernhofer will go in lane number 6. Is that one of your new countries last night, Liz, New Zealand?
It was, courtesy of that man in lane number 4, Cameron Leslie.
3 countries won their first gold medals of the championships: New Zealand,
Ireland,
Azerbaijan.
Well done. Well, Leslie got off to a good start, as does Malia up in lane 5. Those two at the moment going well through this first 25 metres. Very different strokes. Leslie got that really high stroke with Malia there on the right of those 2 yellow lanes. They move to the final 50 metres.
Yeah, Cameron Leslie here is going to secure his place in the final. He was a world champion in 2019. And he takes that 37.50. It's an excellent swim from Cameron Leslie. Just outside the best time he's done this year. 37.38 that he went in April this year. Ernhofer in 3rd position. The Austrians should secure a place in that final as well, with only 5 swimmers in the next heat. Beggiato with 42.81. Might be in a little bit of danger, but he'll watch that second heat with interest. The Italians had a quiet night last night. New Zealand took the 1 medal, and that's the same with Italy last night as well, wasn't it? It was only Stefano Raimondi that took a gold for Italy. So New Zealand matching Italy in terms of gold medals on day 4, that courtesy of Cameron Leslie. A good swim from Cameron Leslie there. 37.50. Ariel Magliar in 2nd, and Andrew Ernhofer in 3rd place. Of course, Cameron Leslie, a great record in this event, Liz. He chose to sit out the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, didn't he?
Yeah, he was awaiting the birth of his 2nd child, and felt he needed to be there, which is a good shout, I feel.
Yeah.
But he's back I think he's expecting his third child now, but not imminently. Not imminently. Okay. So.
Right. You see, he's planned it in between the major championships.
Something like that.
There's a lineup for heat number 4. Mats Topkin from Estonia just missed out on the medals yesterday in the backstroke. Goes in lane number 2. Camacho Ramirez. Lane number 3. He was a medalist yesterday in that backstroke, just getting in for the silver medal. Amioma Dodon will be the favourite. The world record holder goes in lane number 4. Takayuki Suzuki, Paralympic silver medalist in his home games in Japan. He goes in 5. And Jogi Song, who's had the resurgence in form, the Korean, goes in lane number 6. There's Takayuki Suzuki. Go from the blocks. Dodon has the worst start, starting in the water, but once he gets into his stroke, watch him come through.
Yeah, he starts from the water, so he's up straight into his stroke. Other swimmers using their advantage of strength off the stroke. Suzuki gets a good start, and then it's about how, when or if Amioma Dodon can catch those early leaders. We see now they're all in a line. Camacho Ramirez, Dodon and Suzuki as they come under the flags.
Yeah, it's going to be Dodon, I think, into the wall. 38.58, just ahead of Suzuki. And Camacho Ramirez in 3rd position. Jogi Song will come in for 4th, just ahead of Topkin. And there was Dodon. As you said, Lizzie, generally has to play catch up through the race, even in that 50 freestyle, and I think that helps him. I think that inspires Dodon. He is the chaser, as we talked about earlier this week.
Well, yeah, I think we see the Paralympic, across the para-swimming programme classification system, that is the nature of it. You'll have people who have the strength at the starts or the turns, and then people who have the strength during the actual swim stage of the race. And it's the problem is you haven't got the choice of whether you are the chased or the chaser. I think it does help if you are the one who is chasing.
Yeah, Dodon chased the early leaders down, and he takes that second heat. Suzuki in 2nd place, Camacho Ramirez in 3rd, and they will progress to the final. Cameron Leslie in pole position. Dodon, Suzuki, Camacho Ramirez, Malya, Ernhofer, Jogi Song makes it into that final. The Korean, again, another one. All the big names are there in that S4. Continuing with the freestyle. Said there was a fair bit of freestyle today. This one should be an interesting one as well. Again, big names taking the start here in this S8 50 freestyle. Lim On-young from Korea goes in lane number 2. Tuponufi for New Zealand in 3. Xenia Francesca Palazzo in 4. 2 Chinese swimmers in 5 and 6. Jiang Shengnan and Zhu Xiu. One world champion in this 5, and that is Jiang Shenyang in lane number 5. Won the title back in 2010. Another one of these Chinese swimmers returning. We haven't seen her for a few years. She's back competing in this World Championship. See how she gets on, lane number 5.
Tuponuifi got a good start in lane number 3 for New Zealand. Now we can see Jiang Xingyan going well in 5. She heads just ahead of Palazzo for Italy in 4. Not much in it at all. These two out in front.
I was coming into the final stages here. Palazzo just gets it, 31.72. And Jiang Shenyang in 2nd place there. And in third place it was Zhu Hu. So the 15-year-old from China getting third position. A more experienced colleague, 32-year-old Jiang, in second, but Palazzo, she was another one coming from behind. The S8 class, that's been a feature of the S8 class as well. Swimmers getting good starts, swimmers with good legs, getting off to the start very, very well, and the swimmers with good arms, maybe lower limb impairments, coming back strongly in the closing stages, and that's what happened with Palazzo taking that touch. 31.72 for her. And again, Palazzo's been one that's been on good form here, taking the title in the 400, silver in the 100.
You just totally set me up. I just got a message saying, how did you not know I was a bronze medalist? And I was like, well, thank you very much. Maybe I did. I'm sure I did.
Oh, but you only commentated on half of that Mexico World Championships, remember?
It's true, I left.
You
Yes,
did leave.
that's what it was.
Yes. That is your excuse.
At least it means people are listening to us, right?
Yeah, that's good. Even if it is just your husband. Not sure my wife's listening.
She's busy. She's helping out here.
She's volunteering here. She was on the medal duties last night. There's the lineup for heat number 2. Rubalcaba Nunes from Mexico in 2. Abby Tripp in 3. Geronimo de Arusho in 4. She had a great swim yesterday in the 100 freestyle to take gold. Alice Time 5. Paulina Novina in 6. And Carmen Lim in 7. That's Alice Time. What great world championships she's had in 2019. I think it's 7 golds. She was the top performer at those championships, but she's been through a lot since that World Championships 2019, Alice Tai, but she's back and on great form here.
Yeah, she's building back into her race program is Alice Tai, but someone who's having a great week here in Manchester is Geronimo de Araujo of Brazil. Took a bronze medal on day 1, won the 100 meters freestyle last night in a personal best time, and she's looking really good here down this 50.
Yeah, she is the reigning champion here, defending her title from last year, and she's in a quick 30.63 for her, ahead of Alice Tai 31.50 and Abby Tripp from Canada in third position. That is a good time there, 30.63, close to the best time of the year for Geronimo de Araujo, faster than she went in the final last year to win it.
Yeah, she's definitely coming in great form. You can see Alice Tai squinting to see the scoreboard. It is some 55 metres away, as we keep mentioning. So a lot of the athletes looking for the race. You can see how those starts play out differently. There's Geronimo getting away well. Alice Tai slower off the block, but then powers through strongly in the closing stages. Abby Tripp having a good week here in Manchester as well.
Yeah, they are the top 3. Geronimo de Araujo, Alice Tai and Abby Tripp. Paolo Novina should make it into the final as well. So a couple of Croatians progressing into the final from this morning's heats. Tupan Luife will be in as well for New Zealand. So New Zealanders and the Croatians happy with their morning's work so far. Men's 50 freestyle in the S8 classification. Well, as I expect, there'll be not many people taking it easy in this one, in this S8. What an incredible 100 freestyle that we saw yesterday. It was so close. Same with the 100 butterfly as well in this S8 classification, but the 50 freestyle, first heat. Cancela, Amadeo, Zakis, Golas and Wu.
Yeah, there's no luxury here of hanging about. This is an example of one of those where all swimmers from one heat could make it through to the final. We've seen similar happen before.
some established names in this one. Cancela, Amadeo, Michelin-Zakis, Golas. Newcomer from China, though, is Wu in lane number 6.
Well, Michelin-Zakis comes up first for Greece in lane number 4. Golas had a good start. Cancela had a good start for Portugal down in lane 2. But it is Michelin-Zakis who's currently leading the way. You see the different styles there?
Yeah, Michelin-Zakis almost on his side. It's almost a side stroke there for Michelin-Zakis, but very effective there. 27.00 for Michelin-Zakis. He will claim his place in the final with that. Mikhail Golas, half a second behind. Polish swimmer in second position, and it was a good swim from the newcomer from China, Wu Honglian. Third position, very similar strokes. Amadeo, again, with that leg impairment, has to come from behind. It's not as much time to come from behind in a 50 as there is in the 100 for Amadeo.
He does get a good start though. He puts his foot on that back wedge and he sort of uses his arms to launch himself forward. So he does as well as he can off that start, but Michelin-Zakis that time, fastest in the world this year, so he's catapulted himself to the top of those rankings. But of course, I'm sure there's a very fast heat to come.
Yeah, Cancela 28.08. Is that going to be the cut-off point? Is it going to be the 28-second mark? Well, second heat on their way. Again, some fast swimmers in this one. The slowest of the entry times, 28.03. So we'll see what happens in this second heat. Martos Mignet, Spain in 2, Andrade Guillen from Mexico in 3, Silva de Souza in 4 from Brazil. Noah Jaffe is champion in the 100 freestyle yesterday, goes in 5. Muhammad Abd Halim from Malaysia in 6. Silva de Souza, bronze medalist yesterday behind Noah Jaffe, but he got off to a great start, the Brazilian. The Mexican Andrade Guillen, he was a big name to miss out on the final of the 100 butterfly. He'll be looking to make amends in lane number 3, but Silva de Souza looked really good, really strong in the early stages of that 100.
He did, and he uses that underwater well. Jaffe came up. Jaffe's having a great meet here for the United States of America. He's closer to de Souza than he was down the first 50 of that 100 last night, and it's those two out in front at the moment.
It's very close at the front. Jaffe coming through very strongly though, and it's a good time, 27.09, just shy of the time that was set in the first heat by Michelin-Zakis. Silva de Souza in second place there, and in third place Muhammad Abdel Halim from Malaysia. He should make it in, I think, 28.07 for him. Martos Mignet and Andrade Guillen might just miss out, I think. But no, Jaffe following up that great swim in the 100 and a very good swim in the 50. A very good start there from Silva de Souza, as we've come to expect from him.
Well, I think we talk about it, don't we? Like, some of these swimmers wait to get their program started, and then the likes of these sprinters in 100 freestyle have two races pretty much back to back.
Late last night and early this morning, but Noah Jaffe is not affected by that. 27.09 and 27.57 for Silva de Souza. I think Muhammad Abdel Halim should make it in to the final. Yeah, there he is. Amadeo makes it in as well. He might be a danger from the outside lane, but Michelin-Zakis leads the way.
Well, Jaffe responded there to watching Michelin-Zakis go ahead of him on the world rankings. Just 9 100s now separating those two.
Yeah, it should be another good final. It's going to be too close to call, I think, that one. Just whoever steps up on the night tonight. So, move down a couple of classes. We're down to the S7s now. It's the 50 metres butterfly for men. Bolodaiko, Serrano Zarate, To Wee Sung and Kavlit Saya is the lineup for this one. Again, there's Carlos Serrano Zarate. Again, we're used to him having kind of a multi-event programme. He's got a lot of events towards the end of this World Championships as well. We saw him a little bit earlier in the week, but these big events have yet to come. There's To Wee Sung from Singapore. I don't think he has a chance of taking a medal here at these championships. He's a Commonwealth Games silver medalist, but blistering reaction there from Serrano Zarate off the block.
He went off the block well, going well. Underwater was Boadaiko in lane 3 for the Ukraine. He's having a good swim, closest to us at the moment, but Serrano Zarate leads the way as they get to the 15-metre mark.
Serrano Zarate building on that good start. Boadaiko as well is very close to him. Serrano Zarate is going to be in 29.76 for him. Just about the time that he's posted this year, there or thereabouts. You can see Boadaiko in second position there, 30.53 for the great Ukrainian. And To Wee Sung in third place in that heat, 31.29. Serrano Zarate looking good in this 50 metres butterfly. Really blistering reaction time there for Serrano Zarate.
So we do find that a lot of the time with the athletes with short stature do get very quick reaction times off of the block, and he used it well there, Serrano Zarate.
Boadaiko as well, good to see him building back into some form. Of course, the Ukrainian swimmers, some of them still based in Ukraine and just lost a lot of time for obvious reasons. We saw a very small team at the World Championships last year, but they're building back up again, Liz. That's good to see.
Yeah, they're building back up, and they've got some really promising newcomers. Man in shot there though, Anthony Trusov. No newcomer, but swimming exceptionally well at these World Championships.
Trusov has been one of the stars of this S7 classification, world record breaker in the 200 metres individual medley on day one of competition. Won a very close contest with his young teammate Yuri Semyo in the 100 backstroke. But Andrei Trusov go in the middle lane. Christian Sadi from South Africa, Trusov in 4, Basilov in 5, and Jadav from India in lane number 6.
Well, Sadi got a good start in that green hat for South Africa. He's had a few fourth places this week. He'll be looking to convert that tonight. It's going well here, so is Andrei Trusov in lane 4, and Basilov tends to come back strongly in the closing stages.
Yeah, it's pretty tight at the front of the field. Sadi might just be in to take this one in a time of 30.68. Been a medalist in this event before at the World Champs back in 2017. Andrei Trusov in second place, 31.28 this time for the Ukrainian. Basilov in third. Argentinian, already a couple of medals this week for Basilov, and he will make it into another final. Jadav in fourth position. Good start again from Christian Sadi.
Yeah, that's his fastest time of the world this year. He is swimming well at these championships, and he did well there to hold off Trusov. That'll be a good race in the final this evening.
Yeah, it was pretty close between the top three there, but Sadi had the clear victory, 30.68. Trusov in second, Basilov in third position. I think Javad might just make it into the final as well. The Indian swimmer, yeah, he's in there in seventh position, just ahead of Kavlit Saya. Javad, another Commonwealth Games swimmer from last year. Again, another big event held in England last year in Birmingham, just down the road from Manchester. He'll make it into another final, the Indian. So S12 classification, 100 freestyle. Six swimmers in this first heat, 6 in the second. This is one of the visually impaired events, S11 to S13, for swimmers with visual impairments. S11, swimmers with no vision at all. S12 and S13, those with partial vision. S11 swimmers all have the tappers at the end of the lanes, and some of the S12s will have tappers as well, Liz.
Yes, in this S12 category, you can be in a position where you literally just have that difference between light and dark perception, but choose not to wear the blacked out goggles. So a lot of the athletes don't have the vision to see the wall, and that's where the tapper comes in very handy indeed. Going well in 3, it's Jenna Jones of Australia. She's having a good championships here. She turns first, 30.32 down in lane number 3. Lisbera was over in second, 30.93 with Maria Delgado Nadal, the experienced Spaniard, in lane number 5 in third position.
Yeah, Jenna Jones with a very good swim earlier in the week, and she took the silver medal in the backstroke event. She's looking good in this first heat here. The Australian going to be coming into the wall now in 103.11, looking very good indeed. That's a lifetime best for her and an oceanic record, beating the time that she held. 103.58 was her previous time, and she's improved that to 103.11. So a good tussle between the South Africans as well on the far side, Alani Ferreira and Cornel Leach. Alani Ferreira, medalist in the breaststroke yesterday, set another African record in 107.92. But it was Jenna Jones front of the field. Alicia Berra should make it into that final as well in second. Maria Delgado Nadal in third place, just 1/100th behind the Italian. Jenna Jones got off to a very good start, was never really headed. There's the battle for second. Oh, very close. Ooh, yeah. Delgado Nadal just missing out on that. Alicia Berra 1/100th ahead. Jenna Jones takes it in an oceanic record. Alani Ferreira with an African record for South Africa. So the second heat, see what they have to do. 103 and 104, the top 3 positions. They should be safely into that final. Alani Ferreira in fourth, 107.92. Mila Labuda, the German, 109.61 in that previous heat. There's the lineup for this one. Liane Morceau from France in 2. 2 Brazilians in 3 and 4. That is Luciana da Silva Souza, Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago, Anna Stetsenko in 5, Karina Petrokovicheva in 6, and Belkis Mota Echari in 7. Wow, Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago, 3 gold medals to her name. She also has set a world record in the 50 freestyle a little bit earlier this week. Silver medal in the breaststroke as well to boot. Also part of that 49-point relay team. So she's racking up the medals, Gomez Santiago. And you wouldn't bet on another one here in this 100 freestyle.
No, she's racking up the medals, she's racking up the meters as well. Going well is her teammate Da Silva Souza in lane number 3. It will be Da Silva Souza that gets her feet to the wall first, 29.68 by 0.3 of a second from Gomez Santiago, with Anna Stetsenko, who had an excellent last leg on that 49-point relay for Ukraine to take that victory last night. In third position there, that white hat at the top of this shot now. Those 3 going well in this qualification.
Yeah, 3 swimmers all in a row in the middle. Should be fairly comfortable qualification. 2 of them take the tap there. And Silva de Souza into the wall, 102.77. Gomez Santiago, 103.12. And Stetsenko, 103.33. Petra Kovicheva in 4th in 107. Should make it into that final as well. Motisechari from Venezuela, 108.18. I think she might just miss out the Venezuelan. But interesting for Gomez Santiago, Liz. We quite often used to her going out very strong in the heats and again in the finals. But as you said, heavy program this week, so conserving something for tonight.
Heavy program. We're on day 5. She turned 38 on Tuesday. Wednesday, I've lost track of my days. But yeah, you just got to start, towards the end, you just got to start to manage your energies.
Brazil 1 and 2. Stetsenko for Ukraine in 3rd place. They should make it into the final, I think. Yeah, there we go. Liane Morceau, the final swimmer, into that one. And it was, well, 5 swimmers from that 2nd heat made it into that final. Only 3 from the 1st heat. But Silva Souza leads the way. Jenna Jones in 2nd. Gomez Santiago, reigning world champion, will be the favourite. A lot more to come from the Brazilian record breaker in the 50 freestyle earlier this week. It's not a record she holds, one of the few that she doesn't hold, Gomez Santiago, so maybe she will be after that one tonight. So there's 12 men. Come out for their 100 freestyle first heat. 5 swimmers in this one, 5 swimmers in the next one. Geraldo Correa, Kilian Portal, Stephen Clegg, Ilya Yaramenko and Alex Villarreal Martin. Another visit this morning from Kilian Portal's grandfather.
He stops by every morning on his way in. A lot of the supporters stop in on a little corner on the way in.
There's Yaramenko. Yaramenko often made his name as a sprint freestyler. Very successful in the 50 freestyle, Yaramenko. Kilian Portal, the younger of the 2 Portal brothers. We saw Alex Portal take gold medal in the 100 freestyle in the S13 classification. Stephen Clegg, though, for Great Britain, the host nation, again has been in great form, winning a gold in the backstroke, taking a silver in the butterfly, and Clegg looking pretty good in that black cap in the middle of those 5.
Clegg going out, Portal going with him. Geraldo Correa going well down in lane 2 for that first 50 right at the top. Villarreal Martin is having a good week as well for Spain. He's going well in 6. It does look like Stephen Clegg at the moment just has a slight edge. As I say that, Portal starts to move forward.
Yeah, Kilian Portal with a very good last 25 here, but Clegg doesn't want to give it away, and he wins it by 1/100th of a second. Very good stretch for the wall there for Stephen Clegg. He gets the touch ahead of Kilian Portal, who will be pleased with that time, I'm sure. Kilian Portal, that was a good time from him, 55.36. Big improvement for the young French swimmer. Stephen Clegg was first to the wall though, in 55.35. And 3rd place was Villarreal Martin of Spain. A good performance there from Clegg. And the 2 teenagers following him home.
Yeah, Clegg really wasn't a freestyler, and then obviously for the Commonwealth Games, it was the only visually impaired event was the 50 freestyle, so he worked hard on that sprint freestyle, dropped a lot of time, just made him a bit more competitive in this freestyle, losing that Commonwealth Games gold medal by 1/100th of a second on the 50. Obviously this is the 100.
And he won it by 100th of a second in the 100. So he was on the right end this time. Villarreal Martin, the 19-year-old Spaniard behind the 16-year-old French swimmer. Gets second position there, Kilian Portal. There's the favourite for this event, that was Raman Salai. He'll be last out. The reigning world champion, the reigning Paralympic champion. 5 swimmers in this one. Borja Sanz Tomayo in lane number 2. Douglas Matera, who had such a good surprise swim almost in the 100 butterfly to take gold a couple of days ago. Raman Salai, the favourite. We haven't seen him on top of the medal podium. And there is Maxim Varaksa, lane number 5, the winner of the 50 freestyle, the world record holder. Set that one back in the European Championships in Reykjavik back in 2009. He's also the championship record holder. Varaksa set that in Montreal in 2013, 10 years ago. So Varaksa, world record holder in 5. Salai, the world champion in lane number 4.
And they get away well in that centre lane. The straight arm stroke of Raman Salai leading the way. Looking good down this first 50 metres. In 3, Matera's having a good week for Brazil. Took a surprise bronze in and a surprise gold actually. Matera of Brazil, he turns in 3rd position, but it is the big 2 out in front. Varaksa in 2nd. Salai though way ahead here.
Yeah, Salai looks like he's going for this one, putting down a marker for the final. Varaksa looks a little bit more relaxed than Raman Salai. That's Salai coming into the closing stages now. Let's have a look at the clock. It's going to be 53.60 for Raman Salai. And Maxim Varaksa in 2nd place, 55.36 for him. And it was Yavianda from Indonesia who gets in for 3rd position, 56.90. So Raman Salai will go into the final in pole position, 53.60 for him.
Well, that was a very fast heat swim, just 3 100ths off the fastest time he's been this year. He is top of the world rankings. He definitely looked like he was trying to send a bit of a message there. A couple of the earlier races haven't quite gone the way he would have liked. He had a good 100 backstroke to push Stephen Clegg all the way. 100 metres butterfly, as I said, was a bit of a surprise. Douglas Matera took the gold for Brazil. And so Salai, he'll want to win tonight.
Salai takes that heat ahead of Varaksa. Yavianda, good swim from him, just 8 100s ahead of Matera. I think they'll both qualify for the final with that. Yeah, Salai leads the way, Clegg in 2nd, Kilian Portal in 3rd, Varaksa in, equal 3rd actually with Kilian Portal, so a tie for 3rd place. And Valerio Martin from Spain, Yavianda will be into the final as well. Matera will also be there. 200 metres individual medley. It's the only 200 metre individual medley event this morning. It's in the S14 class. We've got the men's and the women's, of course. Starting off with the women's. Again, 200 IM always interesting. Ebbs and flows as they go through the heats. The different strokes. And got that relatively young field here. There's Poppy Masco, who has been on good form. Almost took a gold medal in that 100 backstroke, just missing out by a couple of hundredths of a second there to her teammate Bethany Firth. But full lineup for this one: 20-year-old Janina Falk from Austria, Paige Leonhardt from Australia goes in lane number 3. 16-year-old Eri Kinoshita from Japan in 4. 18-year-old Poppy Masco goes in 5. 17-year-old Kaja Mata from Thailand in 6. And Eva Coronado Tejeja from Spain in 7. So 3 teenagers and a 20-year-old in this one, Liz. It's a young heat.
It is a young heat, and leading the way at the first turn was Maskell of Great Britain. She is swimming very well here in Manchester. It's part of the World Championship gold-winning relay team last night. That will have given her some adrenaline, some excitement. We did see her at the end of the night. We saw a lot of the relay teams leaving the building. She was all smiles, and she's looking good here this morning. Kineo Nishita is the fastest of the athletes here at these World Championships this year, but only by the smallest of margins. She had a great breaststroke turn there. Brilliant pull out. She made up quite a significant range on Maskell there. She starts now to draw level with Maskell at the front of this field.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Eri Kinoshita. She had a very good swim, a couple of good swims at the Singapore World Series earlier this year, and that's where all these times, our entry times for this competition, have come from. But she looks a very strong breaststroker, and she said, Liz, she's right up there in the world rankings, and she may challenge for this title tonight. 152.84, very good split from the Japanese swimmer.
Yeah, Kanishta looking excellent down that breaststroke, and now onto the freestyle. Paige Leonhard of Australia, she had a good breaststroke leg down in lane 3. Kanishta leading the way here. About 8.5 metres ahead of Great Britain's Maskell, with Leonhard still in 3rd position as we come into the finish.
Yeah, and Kinoshita is going to be into the wall first, 2:27.19, so an excellent time for her. That is the fastest time she has done this year, so a great time from her, just outside her Asian record, which she set late last year. But a very good swim from the Japanese swimmer. Poppy Maskell in 2nd place, Paige Leonhard in 3rd position. But Kinoshita looked very, very good there. Really powerful. Poppy Maskell, a very good backstroker, but Kinoshita was almost closing up on the backstroke towards the end of that one, and just surged ahead in the breaststroke. There's the winner in the early stages of that one, Kinoshita, and the yellow hat, Paige Leonhard. They are side by side. Kinoshita coming in clearly ahead of the field here in 2:27.19. So, swimmers in the 2nd heat about to come out. We'll see those results. Kinoshita 2:27, Maskell 2:33, Leonhard 2:35. It was a close one for 4th, Kajamata 2:38.12, Coronado Tejeja 2:38.75. So I wonder if that is going to be vital. We've got nice camera shots here. We even get camera shots of the camera.
That's a cool shot.
Camera shots of a camera taking a shot of a camera.
Camera people like cameras.
Oh yeah. Two more from the host nation in this one, 2 from Hong Kong, 1 from Canada and 1 from Sweden. Angela Marina, Louise Fiddis, Bethany Firth, Chan Yu Lam, Pernille Lindberg and Zhong Ho Yin. It's Bethany Firth, reigning champion. This title for the first time last year in Madeira. She was Paralympic champion in 2016. She's won the backstroke here. Very close contest with Poppy Maskell the other day. She goes in lane number 4, off to a good start, Bethany Firth.
Yeah, but good race skills off the diving block for Firth. On the right of the shot there is Chan Yui Lam. And Firth is leading the way, but it's all a bit closer than it was down that first length of the first heat. It will be Firth that turns first, 30.31. Then Chan Yui Lam and Phyllis of Great Britain in third at the first turn. Pernilla Lindberg up in sixth, had an excellent 200 metres freestyle. Earlier in the week she swam very well, just finishing out of the medals. So she's in good form at these championships. 3 swimmers in a line now behind our earlier race leaders. Firth looking good. She's got a strong 200 metres individual medley. She's got 4 strong strokes. It's Bethany Firth. She turns now onto the breaststroke, which she would probably say is her weakest stroke, but it's not weak by any means. And she's got a healthy advantage at the front of this heat.
Yeah, Chan in second place. Lindberg picking up into third position. Moving through the field, that yellow cap of Sweden just on the right of the picture there. Just behind Chan Yu Lam, a 19-year-old from Hong Kong, just holding off the challenge of the Swede at the moment. There's Pernilla Lindberg. You know, she was very strong in the 200 freestyle, so she might be strong at the end of this one. But Bethany Firth is going away from the others in this field. 106.31 at the halfway point, with a lead of around about 4.5 seconds. We'll see what the advantage is now. The end of that breaststroke, still about the same, 4.5 seconds as Firth stretches for home.
Firth looking good. Coming back strongly is Pernilla Lindberg. Up in 6 on Chan Yui Lam. That is the race going on behind Bethany Firth. But Firth looks comfortable here. Pernilla Lindberg still battling back to try and get that touch. They should both be okay in this heat.
Wow, 2:27.63 for Bethany Firth. Very similar time for Kinoshita in the first heat. Lindberg does get the touch. A few cheers going up as Lindberg hits the wall in second position. Chan in third. Fourth is Louise Fiddis from Great Britain. Lindberg pleased with that finish, getting ahead of Chan. Bethany Firth 2:27.63. Very, very similar time to the first heat.
Yeah, that's set up. Those 2 swimmers will be in 4 and 5. Right next to each other. So very similar teams. Firth will be in 5 if those results are confirmed, because it was a slightly quicker time from Kinoshita in the first heat. But look at this, we said Lindberg was in good form and she finished very strongly at the end there to just get that touch ahead of Chan.
Yeah, showing her strength there, Pernilla Lindberg, former world champion herself, of course, in 2017. Getting in ahead of Chan. But Bethany Firth leads the way from that second heat. She doesn't lead the way into the final though, because Kinoshita just edged it by around about half a second or so. Firth in second, Lindberg in third. Chan will go in fourth position. Maskell not too far behind as well. Another good one set up for tonight. 200 metres individual medley for men. Big representation from the host nation here. 2 from Ukraine in this one, 1 from Canada and 3 from Great Britain. Again, got some well-known names in this one. Krajnic, Vazenko, they go in 2 and 3. Bennett in 4. Verncombe, Darby and Ellard go in 5, 6 and 7. The host nation, Great Britain, very strong in the S14 classifications. A couple of clean sweeps earlier in the week in the women's race. And picked up a couple of medals as well in the men's events and the mixed relays. But Nicholas Bennett's probably been one of the stars of this S14 classification for the men this week.
Absolutely. He did get a silver medal in this event last year at the World Championships. He did an excellent race to win at the 200 metres freestyle. on day one, and then an excellent 100 meters breaststroke to take a silver medal there, so we know he's going well. Good start up the top for Will Ellard of Great Britain. He turns third behind Bennett, who turned first, and Van Zenko, who was the bronze medalist behind Bennett at last year's World Championships. He goes for the Ukraine in lane 3. It's all very tight now though, down this backstroke leg. Nicholas Bennett with a slight advantage, but coming back strongly in 5. Cameron Vernercomb's having a good backstroke leg for Great Britain.
Yeah, well, there's nobody out of this one at all as they come into the turn. It's very close indeed, all swimmers within a second of each other as they go on the halfway point, but very often it's the breaststroke that sorts them out here, and Nicholas Bennett going away and just stretching out ahead of Cameron Verncombe at the front of this field. Just maybe in third position, well, difficult to tell really. Maybe in lane number 2, Vasil Krajinic just edging third place, but the breaststroke has split the field very slightly. Nicholas Bennett heading Verncombe now, who are clear in second place, but great breaststroke from Bennett.
Yeah, Bennett looked excellent. That's what I was going to say. We know he's got that breaststroke in his locker. He turned first, Vernicombe second. It was Krajinic of the Ukraine down in lane 2 that turned third, just ahead of Great Britain's Rhys Darby, making his debut here in this heat.
Oh, just keep a little eye on the clock here as Bennett comes into the closing stages. 2:07.50 is the world record. He was edging pretty close to that. He's gone 2:09.40. Excellent time for Bennett. Take that one. World record holder Gabriel Bandera. Just thought that 50 breaststroke looked very good for Bennett, just bringing him almost into contention in world record pace there. But Bennett takes it. Second place was Krajinic. Third place was Rhys Darby, who had a great finish. The GB swimmer making his debut at the major championships. He's had to wait all this week to make his first swim, Rhys Darby.
Well, yeah, Bennett looks very strong, doesn't he, in that individual medley. Backstroke was where the field came back together, but he was way out, and then he just wound his stroke down on those final 10 metres of the freestyle. So there's more to come from the informed Bennett.
It was a very close finish, as you saw there from the pictures. Nicholas Bennett takes it 2:09.40. He was clear, but the others, Vasil Krajinic, just 9/100s ahead of Rhys Darby, who's only 17/100s ahead of William Ellard. And a few tenths behind was Van Zenko, Cameron Verncombe. Just a couple of tenths behind Van Zenko, so very, very close. 5 swimmers on the 2:12, 2:13 range. Nicholas Bennett will be in that final on 2:09. The world record holder and world champion Gabriel Bandera will be in lane number 4 in this one. No one in lane number 5, so that's an interesting one. Let's know Yamaguchi, the world record holder in breaststroke. So he's not taking the start this time. But Bandera, oh, he's had that interesting week, an up and down week you would say for Bandera. Missed out the medals of the 200 freestyle. He was back taking a medal in the backstroke. Second place to the Australian world record holder Benjamin Hans. But this is a big chance for Bandera to get to the top of the podium here, the Brazilian world record holder.
Yeah, he scratched that 100 breaststroke. Say a lot of these athletes have very busy programs. Bandera building into this. This is the one he would like to win. He is the world record holder. Set that at the World Championships last year to take that gold medal. But at the moment, we never quite know how he's going to swim, do we? It's all very tight at the front after that fly leg. Bitter of Australia getting the touch ahead of Hillhouse, with Bandera in third position.
Yeah, it is Ricky Bitter. that yellow cap here and the white cap of Alexander Hillhouse. He's very strong in the opening stages of an individual medley. He was a medalist in the butterfly and then backstroke. The Dane that goes up in lane number 6, but Bandera, you say, Liz, it's very difficult to tell what kind of tactics Bandera has. Quite often we see him hanging back and storming through at the end. We saw him go a little bit harder in the early stages in a few events earlier this week, but he looks relaxed on the breaststroke, but he's not really making any inroads to Ricky Better, who's having a very good swim here at the front.
Yeah, Better's looking great here. We'd say the breaststroke can be the difference sometimes. Up there in 6, Hillhouse is having a good breaststroke. Bandera stretching out. Better will lead though as we go into the final turn. Better over first, 141.04 at the 150 mark from Hillhouse, 143.69, and it is Bandera in third, but only just ahead of Wong down in lane number 1. Very spread out now as we come down the final 25 metres, but Australia's Ricky Better looks like he will take this one.
Yeah, another teenager here, Ricky Better, performing very well indeed. He comes home in lane number 3 in 2:12.57. Well, these swimmers are going to have to watch themselves, because not sure if many of them from this heat are actually going to qualify here for this final. Bandera, the world record holder, 2:22. I don't think that's going to be good enough, Liz.
No, I don't think so either. He'd only been he hadn't been under 2:30 this year, so he has gone quicker, but still some way off. Better look good though. In the previous heat, Nicholas Bennett put down the fastest time in the world this year. He was already top of the rankings. He improved that, so he will be the man to beat. But what a heat swim there from Ricky Better. That heat number 1 was faster. There were a lot of 2:12s, 2:13s in that first heat, so gonna have to wait for this scoreboard to sort itself out in venue.
Ricky Better will make it. I think Hillhouse, well, I'm saying Hillhouse might make it, but I think we might have a DQ, and it looks like it might be Hillhouse who might have been disqualified here, so that is unfortunate for the Dane, because I think he would have made the final with that time. This confirmation of that result, Ricky Better first there in that second heat. He will make it into the final, but I think it might be just Wong from that second heat will make it, and everyone else from heat number 1. So Wong Hon Yin will make it into the final in 8th. Nicholas Bennett will lead the way, but no world record holder in that final, so no Gabriel Bandera.
Well, we saw him miss a final previously in other major championships, and you said, Paul, you just sometimes when you've got a busy program, it's not always all working out. Sometimes you do just get it wrong, and you don't realise how fast everyone else is going, especially in this S14 category. They do find it harder to judge their pace based on feel.
Well, they always say at the major championships there's always someone that misses out, one of the big names. And we never go through a major championships where everything goes according to plan. And, well, no Bandera in that finals. That's a big chance for the others. But we move on now to the 100 freestyle S11. Line up for this one, Katerina Kachuk from Ukraine goes in lane number 2. We have Matilda Alcazar-Figueroa from Mexico in lane number 3. Wang Jinyi from China in 4. Scarlett Humphrey from Great Britain in lane number 5. Ma Jia goes in lane number 6 for China, and Tomomi Ishura from Japan in lane number 7. Oh, Ma Jia has certainly been one of the stars of these championships so far. Gold medalist in the 50 freestyle and in the 200 individual medley, just missing out in the 100 breaststroke. So this 100 freestyle, Ma Jia in lane number 6 going off to an early lead. It's China 1 and 2. Wang Jiyin just behind Ma Jia, but as I said, that just going into the lead, the lane number 4 swimmer with Ishiura going well in the top lane, in lane number 7 in third.
Yeah, and it will be Wang that goes over first, 32.54 ahead of Margia, 32.98 with Kachuk, 33.89. The Ukrainian in lane number 2, part of that record-breaking relay team last night. She had an excellent swim on that backstroke leg of the medley relay. She's going well, but at the front, as we've said so many times this week across various races, it's the 2 Chinese swimmers that lead the way. Wang Zini in lane 4 from her compatriot Margia.
Yeah, coming into the last 5 meters now, and it is 109.26 for Wang Chiyin. In second place it is Margia in 111.18. Third place for Kachuk, 112.61. And fourth place to Great Britain's Scarlett Humphrey, 112.96 for her. It's given her a chance of making it into that final. A good swim there at the front of the field from the 2 Chinese swimmers. Wang Jinyi, second in the world rankings this year. Wang in 109.26, a decent time for her. Blacked out goggles will be checked for these S11 swimmers. The S11 class, of course, we love commentating on the S11 class. Just the drama, really, of the S11s.
There are a lot of variables. They had a really good turn then, though. And that can make the difference when you get that tap spot on. It's the difference. It can be the difference between a win and a loss, because where your feet get planted on the wall, how you come off the wall, the distance. We've seen people be really close to the wall and then not be able to get the push off, but we've also seen people almost miss the wall and I kind of have to go back and push again.
Yeah, kind of skull back almost, just to make sure you get that touch. Blacked out goggles being checked. The officials are just having some discussions here. I didn't see anything untoward in that one, I don't think this.
No, hopefully not. You never want to say.
You don't say.
Don't want to commit. There you go.
Phew. So Wang and Ma, they are confirmed as the top 2. Kachuk in 3rd and Humphrey in 4th. Ishura in 5th place for Japan, 113.41. Keep an eye on what happens in this second heat. Seven swimmers in this second heat. Chikako Ono from Japan in 1. Klein Hermes from the USA in 2. Li Guzi from China in 3. Fastest in the world this year is Lisette Bronsma from the Netherlands. She goes in 4. Big cheer for her as she came out. Ana Luz Pelletero from Argentina in 5. Tatiana Blatnerova in 6. And Charlotte Junque Fernandez for Colombia goes in 7. World record held by Lisette Bronsma, set in the European Championships in Dublin in 2018. She holds the championship record as well from 2019 World Championships. So Bronsma in lane number 4. She has looked in good form this year. The whole year, actually, she's done some excellent times, and she's out in front of the field here, swimming down the centre of the lane. Bronsma just edging towards the left now, but she's looking okay and looking good at the front of the field. Li Guzi challenging the Chinese swimmer in lane number 3 alongside Bronsma.
Yeah, Bronsma had an excellent finish. We were talking about these taps, how important they can be, and she had an excellent finish. She's come through well earlier in the week. She's gone over first, 31.93. Li Guzi over 32.48, and then Pelletero for Argentina was over third, 34.86. Bronsma looking very strong down this second 50. She's just going through now, 75-metre mark. She's having an excellent swim here. She comes through. When Bronsma gets it right, she gets it really right. She's having a great heat swim this morning.
Yeah, she's stretching away at the front of the field. The clock just ticking over at 104, 105, 75. Whoa, championship record for Lisette Bruinsma. 105, 75. That was very fast indeed. In second place, it's Li Guzi of China in 108.32. Lisette Bruinsma celebrates, waving to her supporters in the crowd. Ana Luz Pelletero in third position there, 113.71, but it was really good time there from Lisette Bruinsma. 105 at 75, just outside the world record by 0.6 of a second, but inside the championship record. We talked about the tap at the turn there, because Li Guzi and Lisette Bruinsma went in to the turn absolutely together, but as they came out, Bruinsma had a clear lead. She must have made up 2 or 3 meters on that turn.
Yeah, and you can just see from that head-on shot there, you can tell with the S11 athletes, if they've not had vision, then their strokes are very different. And Bruinsma almost like puts her hand forward and then strokes the water. And then the touch can be so important. Bruinsma today had the perfect race, but that was a very close finish there for Pelletero, getting that touch for third position. Latinova just behind in fourth.
Bruinsma celebrates that championship record there in 105.75. Well, she will be the favourite going into that final. It was an excellent swim there from the Dutch swimmer. Goggles, I think, have been checked. We're okay. Lisette Bruinsma confirmed with the championship record, 105.75. Li Guzi, 108.32. Looked good on the first 50 there. Chinese swimmer Pelletero third, ahead of Blatnerova. And 3 Chinese swimmers will be making it into that final, but they will all be behind Lisette Bruinsma of the Netherlands. Katarina Kachuk should also make it as well. I think the host nation will have a representative with Scarlett Humphrey. Not sure we're going to get the summary. We'll move on to the next one. But yeah, I think Scarlett Humphrey will make it in for the host nation. That is confirmed.
Well, as we say with the S11 events, the heats, it's always good for them to get a good heat and get into the final, but we've seen so many times then that final swim, for whatever reason, not be replicated.
Yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong in the finals. A lot can happen in these S11 events. The men are in now. Marco Meneses from Portugal, Edgaras Matakis from Lithuania, Matthias Reina de Souza in lane number 5, and Dambeli Jara from Spain in lane 6. 4 swimmers in this first heat and 5 swimmers in the second heat, so they only have to lose 1 swimmer. So, Edgaras Matakis, European champion, won that title in 2021. Can he make it into the final? Just missed out on the medals in the 50 freestyle. Was better known as a 50 freestyler, Macaris. Matthias de Souza, also a member of those that relay team for Brazil yesterday. He goes in lane number 5, but Matakis off to a good lead in 4.
Yeah, Matakis having an excellent swim in lane 4. He swims down the centre lane again, similar to Bruinsma. When Matakis gets it right, he gets it really right, and you can see here he's got a body length lead as he gets tapped now. He goes over, great turn for Matakis, manages to stay in the middle of the lane. He looks very strong here. Next over it was Marco Meneses of Portugal, down in lane number 3. He's closest to the camera there at the moment. Going well for Brazil, it is de Souza.
Meneses just trying to come back on Matakis, but Matakis is going to hold this one. Matakis into the wall now, takes the tap, 59.05 for him. Meneses in second place, Matthias de Souza in third spot. So they will make it into that final, with only 5 in the next heat to come. Result to be confirmed, of course. And then Dambeli Jara with 105.88 will have to wait. Oh, there's Matthias de Souza. Matakis
was an excellent swim from attackers. 59.05, quicker than his entry time. Much quicker than he's been this year. So, and it looked, you could tell, couldn't you? Like, he had a great start. You can see on that underwater shot, the S11s, they don't use the underwater phase like your typical swimmer would be taught to do out of a textbook, because they need to come, the longer they're under the water, the more chance there is that they would go under a lane rope and not come up in their own lane.
Yeah, it's all about getting the right direction. Swim down the middle of the lane if you can. But certainly if you skirt that lane rope, as many of these S11 swimmers do, it ensures they will keep into that straight line, as straight as possible. It's a great skill, isn't it, these S11 swimmers have. Just try swimming with your eyes closed at home. Make sure you don't do it in a busy lane though.
Yeah.
If you're in your local pool. So goggles are checked. Garis Matakis, 59.05. Marco Meneses, big hope for medals for Portugal this week. Good backstroker, Marco Meneses. He goes second in that first heat there. So the next heat coming out, Makowski from Poland in lane number 2, Poidondong from China in 3, Roger Dorsman in 4 for Netherlands, Mikhailo Serbin in 5 for Ukraine, and Danilo Chufarov in 6 for Ukraine. Roger Dorsman, championship record holder, set that last year when he won the title in Madeira, 56.65. But the Ukrainian Danilo Chufarov, there's Serbin in lane 5, Chufarov one lane over in lane 6. He has been on record-breaking form, Danilo Chufarov. There's Dorsman, already a gold medalist in the breaststroke. Great time he did on that breaststroke, and winning a very close race in the 50 freestyle. Can he do a freestyle double here? Roger Dorsman. Watch out for Chufarov in lane 6, the top of all of the swimmers here in this heat.
Chufarov has been starting his races very well in the heats and the finals, and he has been absolutely incredible. Going well in 3 though, Huo Dongdong of China. He leads the way at the moment. It's pretty much in a line then from Chufarov and his compatriot Serbin. They go over second and third. Dorsman turned in 4th but had an excellent push off the wall to bring him up level with Chufarov. Huo still leading the way though for China. He's got about body length on Dorsman and Chufarov at the moment.
Yeah, Paralympic medalist in 50 freestyle, medalist earlier this week in 50 freestyle. So Hua Dongdong does have that lead. Chufarov coming back as well strongly, but it is going to be Hua Dongdong into the wall in 58.53. Chufarov in 2nd, and it looks like it's Serbin in 3rd, just ahead of Roger Dorsman, who finishes 4th but will be safely into that final. Dorsman just over the 1 minute mark. We know he's capable of much faster. Serbin 59.67, Chufarov 59.13, but Hua Dongdong 58.53 to take that one.
Well, Hua Dongdong, he did have such a good first 50 metres. Just watching him now exit the water. There you see Makowski getting his goggles checked.
Yeah, and the swimmer's making it. Back to goggles will be checked. Serbin's out. Dorsman getting hurt. Getting these blacked out goggles checked here, and it was a good start from Hua Dongdong, 50 metre champion.
Yeah, he didn't get a massive advantage off the block, but like that middle 25 metres, he was way ahead of everybody else.
Dorsman coming in there, that black cap in 4th position. We often talk, Liz, about getting a good lane for the final, but these S11 swimmers, doesn't really matter what lane that you're in the final. They don't see either side of them. So if you've got a lane,
you've got a chance.
And all these swimmers will have a chance tonight. Roger Dorsman in 5th place, the reigning champion. Wadondon leads the way. Matakis is in there again. Chufarov, Serbin, Manesis, D'Souza. Should be a good final. Again, they only had to lose one swimmer, but it's real quality in that S11 race.
Yeah, and we've seen that across a number of the events here this week.
So up to the 50 metres start end again. It looks really busy there if you look just down that corridor.
Well, just
the right side of us.
Just behind that curtain there is a swim down warm-up pool.
As well as a 50 metre start as well. Now these S3 swimmers are coming out for this first of 2 heats of the S3 50 metres freestyle. There is a combined event. Of course, S1s and S2s swimming up against the S3s in this one. It's only one set of medals though. So all these classes have been combined into one event. There's Susanna Scharndorf, medalist yesterday in the backstroke. She goes in lane number 5. 1x2 in this one is Suleimanova. Goes for Azerbaijan in lane number 2. Pereira Barreto from Brazil in 3. Fernandez Infante in 4 for Spain. Scharndorf goes in 5. Nikita ends in 6 for Canada. And Lova Johansson from Sweden, that yellow cap right up there in lane number 7.
Here we've got a range of stroke styles in this freestyle. 3 athletes in the centre lanes, 3, 4 and 5, doing a front crawl stroke, then ends in 6. And Pereira Barreto is doing freestyle today. Sometimes she does backstroke, but she's going well at the front, going very well. Here is Fernandez Infante, who sometimes does fly.
Yeah, an absolutely superb butterfly swimmer, Fernandez Infante. But she is in 43.54. Spanish swimmer will qualify comfortably for the final, just half a second or so shy of her entry time. Scharndorf coming home in 54.56. So these top 2 will qualify with only 6 swimmers in the next heat. It's all very spread out, even for a 50 here. Pereira Barreto in 3rd place, 105.59 for her. Nikita ends into the wall now, 114.94. And the 2 swimmers in the outside lanes are Lova Johansson and Kunul Suleimanova. They're having a good tussle here. Suleimanova in the S2 classification, Lova Johansson in this S3 classification. So it's a nice little battle here. There's the Swedes. Is it the Swedes or the Ukrainians? I can't tell. It's they're all blue and yellow there.
Swedes.
Must be the Swedes.
Definitely
yeah.
Sweden. Ukrainians' t-shirts are more blue.
Oh. Suleimanova in lane 2 is going to come home. In front there, and Lova Johansson. That support of the Swedes. 6th place. 2:01 for Lova Johansson. Entry time of 2:07. So that's a good day's work.
It is indeed. That's all you can do is come here and swim your best. You can see that they're a great start for Fernandez Infante. We said she's an excellent butterfly swimmer. She had an excellent freestyle here this morning. She's the fastest in the world this year.
She looked quite pleased with that time. She has been faster this year, but as you said, Liz, she does swim butterfly quite often in the freestyle event. I wonder if that is maybe the fastest she's ever done doing front crawl. Quite possibly. It's our second heat of this S3 50 metres freestyle. Got the S1 swimmer Elif Ildem for Turkey going in lane number 2. Heva Chasizi or Haziz for Greece goes in lane number 7. Swims in the S2 classification. In the centre lanes, all the S3 swimmers. Patricia Valley, there's Leanne Smith, goes in lane number 4. Ellie Chalice from the host nation, she goes in lane number 5, and Sonia Sigurdardottir in lane number 6. Ellie Chalice already 2 gold medals to her name at these championships. She won the backstroke yesterday, she won the breaststroke. Leanne Smith had a very good World Championships last year, not been in the best of health. She goes in lane number 4. What can she do in this 50 freestyle? That's reigning champion. Chalice going from the block. Technical officials just coming over now to have a word with the US coach. Again, all these kind of starting positions and adaptations that the swimmers have to be approved by technical officials. You just see the towel on the block of Ellie Chalice there. That, I guess, to be approved. That's going to stop any abrasions for the amputees on the blocks. And Ellie Chalice gets off really well from the start.
Yeah, Chalice is up and out in front on this one. She's having an excellent championships here in Manchester. 2 gold medals already. Looking good at the start. This is a combined event. Ildem in Turkey in lane 2 is an S1, and Chazizi or Hazizi of Greece in 7 is swimming in the S2 category. Everyone else in the S3 category, but there is only 1 set of medals. And at the moment, Ellie Chalice is putting herself in a good position to try and win one of those in tonight's final.
Yeah, she's looked really good here in Manchester this week, and Ellie Chalice into the wall again. It's going to be another good time for Chalice. 49.36 for Ellie Chalice. Oh, bang on her best time of the year, just 5/100 shy of that. Patricia Valley, another World Championships for Patricia Valley. This is number 10 for the experienced Mexican. Patricia Valley in second place in that heat, 101.94. Ellie Chalice, all smiles from her. Leanne Smith finished 3rd there, 104.79. And the Sigurdardottir in 4th position, as the final 2 swimmers are in the outside lanes. Elif Ildem from Turkey coming in 135.44 for her. That's an improvement on the entry time. 136.84 the entry time. She's improved that to 135.44. And here is Chasizi or Hazizi from Greece. Entry time for her 201.79. Let's see what kind of time she can register here. 201.80. Oh, well, consistency. 1/100th outside that entry time. 201.79 the entry time. 201.80 the swim time.
Perfect.
Oh, it would have been so much better if it was 201.78, wouldn't it, the other way?
That is true. Every gain is a gain, right? See those different starts there. Leanne Smith from being held at the feet. Ellie Chalice off the block.
Good swim from Ellie Chalice though. She's really looked good this week. Swimming best times in a number of events, Ellie Chalice. There's Patricia Valley, just with that use of that one arm there, the Mexican. 10 World Championships now under her belt. Leanne Smith and Ellie Chalice. And some good tussles last year at the World Championships. Leanne Smith not been on form this year, but she will make it to the final, I think, with 104.79 clearly into that final. Fernandez Infante will lead the way. Chalice in second, Chandor third. Valley will be in another world final. Leanne Smith also will be there. So men's 50 freestyle in in the S3 classification. So 6 swimmers this first heat, 7 in the second heat. Again, it's a combined event. So we have a couple of S2s taking the start. 1 in this first heat and 1 in the second. Leonis Kostakis goes for Greece in lane number 3. There is the S2. It's Gabriel dos Santos Arujo, winner of the 200 last night in the S2 classification. Daniel Ferreira Robles, medalist yesterday in the 100, then 50 back, sorry. Palamarchuk in for Ukraine in 5, Lechniak for Poland in 6, and Lorenas Barres for Chile in lane number 7. But Dos Santos Arujo swimming up a class, Liz. Going from the blocks.
He goes from the blocks. You'd expect him to use that underwater. He goes quite deep there. He'll come up, but going well in lane 4 already is Ferrero Robles of Spain. His backstroke has been on point here at these championships. He's having a good start to this 50 freestyle. Going well now in lane number 5 is Palamarchuk. He started from being held at the feet with his face down in the water, and he's coming through strongly in the second half of this one.
Yeah, he's a European champion, Palamarchuk. He's got a good record in this event. And he is going to touch the wall first here in 44.90. Ferrero Robles in second. Dos Santos Arujo, close to championship record here. Yeah, 51.30 for Dos Santos Arujo. In the S2 classification, of course. Not a championship record for the S3, but the S2 swimmer claims that record for his own classification. So, Palamarchuk first into the wall. Ferrer Robles in second place, and it was Lechniak from Poland in third. So a good swim in the closing stages there from Palamarchuk.
Yeah, Palamarchuk, he looked really strong. Again, we say different starts here. You can see him, he's the one being held by that light blue t-shirt in the second of the yellow lanes, further away from us, so slower to get moving, but once he was going, he just built through the 50 meters. Also, he starts with his face in the water, so as soon as that start signal goes and he puts his head in the water, he's then like holding his breath, relaxed, waiting for that starting signal.
Oh, it's very close there between Dos Santos Arujo and Lechniak, but it was the arms of Lechniak just getting the touch. Championship record though for the Brazilian, the S2 classification, and that might be good enough to progress him to the final. I think it might be, although just missing out on the touch for third place by 7 100ths. Well, may prove to be vital. We shall see in this second heat. Youssef El Said in 1, Charkon Kaisri in lane number 2, Egypt and Thailand. Marcos Zarate Rodriguez, medalist in the individual medley. He goes in lane number 3 for Mexico next to his teammate Diego Lopez Diaz. Good record in this event, the Mexican world champion 2019 and 2022. Ostapchenko, gold medalist from last night. He had a very good swim last night in the backstroke. Ahmed Kelly, the winner of the IM earlier this week. And Bruno Beca da Silva, the only S2 in this particular heat. He goes in lane number 7.
Similar starting positions for the two swimmers in the centre lanes that we've got a great view of there. Lopez Diaz and Ostapchenko, but Lopez Diaz twists onto his front and swims a more traditional front crawl. Ostapchenko does that backstroke that was so successful for him last night in the backstroke race. Zarate Rodriguez is going well in lane number 3 as well, but it is Ostapchenko that leads the way. Kelly in that yellow hat of Australia, 1 lane up from Ostapchenko. You can see that breaststroke leg kick that he does. Lots of different stroke styles going here.
Yeah, Every swimmer with their own individual techniques here, but Ostapchenko is the informed swimmer, and again he comes in 46.25. Very similar time we did in the heats of the 50 backstroke yesterday. Lopez Diaz in second place, 47.68. Zarate Rodriguez, his Mexican teammate, just in third. And Ahmed Kelly, great swim from him, 51.89. And that is an oceanic record from Ahmed Kelly, 51.89. Again, taking down a oceanic record held by Grant Patterson, his teammate from Australia.
Well, Ahmed Kelly has been in brilliant form here. He's having an excellent World Championships.
There's Ostapchenko with a clear lead at the end. He looks really strong. That backstroke is incredible for him, isn't it? Second place was Lopez Diaz. Good record in this event. Silver in 2017, gold in 19, gold in 22. So Lopez Diaz, second place there in that heat behind Ostapchenko. Zarate Rodriguez in third. There's the oceanic record for Ahmed Kelly. Kaisri, 55.80, I think might just miss out on the finals. Palamarchuk and Ostapchenko will advance to that final. There'll be two Mexicans in it. Spanish swimmer, a Pole, a Brazilian. And Ahmed Kelly completes the lineup with that oceanic record. Wow, again, Ostapchenko looking good there, but so was Palamarchuk.
Yeah, that'll be a good race tonight. Ostapchenko very consistent with that backstroke style that he has. Palamarchuk will look difficult to beat after those heats.
Yes, absolutely. These people are going to have to step up their game if they are going to beat those two swimmers from Ukraine. As we go on to the 50 freestyle events, continuing with this freestyle theme of this morning. There's a lineup for the S6 first heat. Loman Kurel from Mongolia in 2, Nicole Turner from Ireland in 3, Shelby Newkirk, the winner of the backstroke earlier this week, she goes in 4, Ellie Marks from the USA in 5, Hayala Tufik from Egypt in lane number 6. There's Nicole Turner, Ireland, hitting the top of the podium yesterday. Roisin Mirian. Nicole Turner in lane number 3. Shelby Newkirk going from the blocks in 4. Ellie Marks as well, off to a good start in 5.
Yeah, it was Turner that had the best reaction time. Newkirk got away off the block best, but now that they're up into the strokes, it is Marks in that white hat of the United States of America in the top yellow lane, leading the way with that high stroke rate. She's looking good at the moment. Coming back is Turner.
And it does look like Marks now, and Turner coming back very strongly. Marks also has a visual impairment, taking the tap there at the end. Nicole Turner getting in second place. Good swim from the Irish swimmer. Shelby Newkirk in 3rd spot. And Kurel from Mongolia getting in 4th place ahead of Hayala Tufik, who goes in 5th place here. Wow, good swim there from Ellie Marks, and Nicole Turner looks satisfied with that swim there. 35.01 for Ellie Turner. Nicole Turner even. Ellie Marks. Get my Marks, my Turners mixed up.
Mix them together, see what they can swim, eh?
That's right. There's Marks going from the blocks. Shelby Newkirk also went from the blocks. Good start from Nicole Turner. Ellie Marks leading the way. We've seen some great tussles in this S6 classification. And looks like another one in prospect tonight. Nicole Turner with that time of 35.01. Looks faster than her entry time by some 0.8 of a second. And Ellie Marks 34.80, just outside her entry time by a couple of tenths.
Yeah, the next heat is loaded. It's not out yet, the next heat. Here they come.
Nora Meister led them out there. Swimmer from Switzerland, a couple of bronze medals to her name. Sofia Fedorenko in lane number 2. No Tully Kearney here, so she's not taking the start in lane number 3. Anna Hunter, world record holder, in 4. Jiang Yuyan from China goes in 5, and Nora Meister in lane number 6. Well, Anna Hunter, world record holder, has had a good week. She goes in lane number 5 for Ukraine. Won this title last year in the world record time, 32.75. Jiang Yuyan from China has had an incredible week. She won the 100 free, she won the 400 free yesterday. Meister took the bronze in both of those events. It's going to be an interesting clash between these 3 swimmers, I think.
Yeah, it will be an excellent battle. Swim very differently. Jiang Yuyan has that long stroke rate, that single arm, but Anna Hunter just manages to get her arms round through the water so quickly. You can see how well balanced they are, how well matched they are here. Hunter looking very good at the moment. She leads the way. Going well up there is Meister, but this one will be Anna Hunter.
Yes, keep an eye on the clock here. 32.75 the record. Whoa, 33.23 for Anna Hunter. Jiang in second position there, 33.84, and Nora Meister 35.53. So the big 3 there swam very well in that heat. Jiang just behind Anna Hunter. As you said, Liz, it's really the power of Anna Hunter which has been impressive in the events we've seen her before. Silver medalist behind Jiang in the 100, with Meister in the bronze medal position. And they'll be looking good again for the final this time. Anna Hunter just with that edge over Jiang. You wouldn't discount Jiang though.
No, Jiang had a very good finish. She finished on a full arm stroke. She was just a stroke behind Hunter.
So Hunter takes it half a second outside world record pace. Jiang in second, and Meister in third position. Hunter leads the way into the final. Jiang in second. Marks will be there. Turner, Newkirk, Meister. Wow, what a lineup for this final. Look at the gap between the top 6 swimmers. Just a couple of seconds, which is a lot in a 50, but expect a few of these swimmers to step up in the final tonight.
It's quite a strong field, as is the men's event. We'll see much the same, I think, now in these qualification heats.
The Gutierrez Bermudez brothers, represented by just one today, Raul. He goes in 2, Taliesin Glock in 3, Nelson Crispin in 4, Laurent Chardard in 5, Giorgio Savaltos in 6, Matthias Angula from Namibia goes in lane 7. I think that's the first time we've seen the Namibian this week. So Taliesin Glock, what a great swim he had to win that 400 freestyle yesterday. Nelson Crispin goes in 4. There's Raul Gutierrez Bermudez, also Mexico, in lane number 2. Laurent Chardard, who will be a threat as well, the French swimmer.
Well, they're not going to be able to hang around here. There's some speed coming in the second heat, and getting the best starts was Crispin Corzo of Colombia in lane 4. It's him, Glock and Chardard at the moment that lead the way.
Yes, Nelson Crispin just holding off Laurent Chardard. They had a dead heat in the 100 freestyle last year. It's very close between the 2 of them. Glock going really well too, but it's going to be Crispin ahead of Chardard and Glock Crispin takes it by 0.1 of a second. Shadad had a very good finish there. And Glock in third position. Svaltos from Greece in fourth. And Gutierrez Bermudez in fifth position. Well, that's the Namibian. Mateus Anguilla completes the distance, 46 for the Namibian. We'll wait for confirmation of that result. Good swim from Crispin. That's high turnover, just holding off the challenge of Shadad and Glock, who were very similar techniques, those two.
Yes, there's a range of techniques in this one, quite a diverse field in terms of impairment type, we always say, in this S6 category. But it's one of those really, really tight fields across the para program.
Well, we haven't had confirmation of that result yet, Liz, which there's a lot of discussion going on here.
Well, it is a 50 freestyle. So obviously, we watch the start here.
Well, well, my goodness, we're just hearing Nelson Crispin has been disqualified here. A quick start, was it, Liz?
Well, he does get a good reaction. And we say the short stature athletes do get good reactions, but maybe that one was too good a reaction.
There you go. These start times always based on the electronic timing. If the swimmer has gone a little bit too fast, of course, if you move on the block as well, that could be the reason for a false start. But whatever it was, we're going to not see Nelson Crispin in the final. Well, second heat on its way out. We have Wang Jingang going in leading number 2 for China. Daniel Videira from Portugal, 893. Antonio Fantin, championship record holder. He goes in lane number 4. Reigning world champion from Madeira last year, Fantin. Daniel Xavier Mendes, another Brazilian who's shown good form earlier this week. Jia Hongguan goes in lane 6 for China. And David Rendon Acosta. There's Xavier Mendes. Brazilian will go in lane number 5. Fantin be in the water. The others will go from the blocks.
Yeah, and it's Fantin and Mendes, the two swimmers that have been under the 30-second mark this year already. Fantin had an excellent 100 metres, but going well up there in 6 is Ji Hongwang. In the early stages, that big leg kick that he's got now coming through though. Fantin also going well down in 2.
Yeah, Fantin in the blue cap there. Coming home now in front. Watch the clock. Championship record for Fantin, 29.00 for him. And that is better than the time that he won last year. 29.16 last year, 29.00. Xavier Mendes in second under the 30-second mark. And Jia Hongguan in lane number 6. It got off to a good start. He's in third place, 30.53.
Fantin just is deceptively quick, isn't he? Like he starts off, he builds through, he winds those arms up. He's so strong, and then even at the end, he looks like he could do it again. Like he always swims. He's one of those swimmers that always swims a quick heat swim and then backs it up in the final. But he looks absolutely incredible in these freestyle events here in Manchester.
Yeah, he's maintained that kind of technique since the very first time we saw him. Antonio Fantin, championship record 29.00. Xavier Mendes from Brazil will be in that final as well, 29.81. Jia and Wang should be in it too from China, I think. Yeah, fourth place, equal fourth place actually, Taliesin Glock and Jia. But a few ties today, but none that require a swim off. Faltos and Rendon Acosta. There will be a Colombian in the final, but it's not going to be Nelson Crispin. As the women's 50 freestyle S13 come out. for their 2 heats. Two Spanish swimmers in this one. One from Uzbekistan, one Japan, one from Poland. Mariano Sojurtsi in the centre lanes, World Championship bronze medalist last year. Two Spanish swimmers on either side. That's Emma Filou Martin and Marian Polo Lopez. There's Sojurtsi just getting the oxygen in. Big, deep breath, almost a yawn at the start of this 50 metres freestyle. There's Marian Polo Lopez. Emma Filou Martin in line number 3. The experienced Joanna Mendak in line 6. Odilova from Uzbekistan goes in lane number 2. This visually impaired class, but the Japanese swimmer in the centre, Liz, will be the favourite for this one.
Yeah,
great record.
She used the underwater very well there, so she's going strongly down the centre of lane number 4 with a very slight advantage over the rest of the field.
Yeah, two Spanish swimmers on either side, but it's going to be Sojurtsi into the wall first. Just about getting it there, 28.03 for Sojurtsi. Not too far off her best time of the year, only 6/100ths shy of that time, so good stuff from Sojurtsi. She will be in the final. 5 in the second heat, so the top 3 will make it, so the Japanese and the 2 Spanish swimmers will be in that final tonight. So Sojurtsi, bronze medalist last year. We'll see the world champion in this second heat, but Sojurtsi in good shape here to take another medal for Japan here at these championships. Emma Filou Martin and Marian Polo Lopez had a good tussle. The 2 Spanish swimmers, look at that finish. Oh, how close was that? Emma Filou Martin just getting in ahead of her more experienced teammate by 2/100ths of a second. 19-year-old Spaniard in second, but Sojurtsi leads the way from that first heat. Well, just looking at the lineup for the second heat, we were due to have 5. I think we're only going to have 4 in the second heat, so that means Joanna Mendak guaranteed a place in that final as well. World record holder in this second heat. Again, Liz, we see this lineup. We only have to drop 1 swimmer to get into the final now, but the quality is right there.
Yeah, and so again, with a 50, you can't really go too easily, or you drop a lot of time, and then you risk, especially in the visually impaired classification, you risk someone sneaking through that you didn't see. So don't expect them to take their foot off the gas too much.
It's Olivia Chambers, who's had a great championships, her first major championships. Carlota Gili, twice a world champion in 2017 and 19. The reigning champion in the yellow cap, though, is Katia Dedikin. Set a world record at the Commonwealth Games last year. And also going well, Carlota Gili in that blue cap. Also Olivia Chambers in lane number 3, but Dedikin in the centre. Gili one lane up. It could be Dedikin, I think, the world record holder with a touch, possibly. All on the finish, but 27.88 for the Australian. Take it just ahead of Gili, with Chambers in 3rd. Redfern from Great Britain, the breaststroke champion, in 4th.
Well, Chambers did have an excellent reaction on the block. She was powerful off the block. Dedikin just waiting for the nod to get out, being told that she's able to leave the water. But Dedikin had an excellent summer last year. Broke the world record at the Commonwealth Games. Became the Commonwealth Games champion in what was an exceptional meet for Australia in Birmingham. So she's swimming, like, you get that confidence, you make those big moves, and then you almost can't wait for the Paralympic cycle to begin.
Well, Dedikin 27.88. Carlotta Giri in second. Olivia Chambers, they'll all make the final. I think Rebecca Redfern might just miss out here. There is the finest. Yeah, Redfern misses out by 4/100ths of a second. But Dedekin, the world record holder, will lead the way. Carlotta Giri. Should be a good battle here. Sajutsi looked good as well. And the young Spanish swimmer, Emma Filou Martin, tied with Olivia Chambers. Another tie there. 4th place this time. We move on to the final event of the morning. 2 heats of the 4x100 meters medley relay. So this is always exciting, Liz. I remember these relays last year, the medley relays especially, just threw up all sorts of combinations.
Yeah, and some of these athletes, some of these teams using what they would hope to be their final team. Some of them using heat teams. This morning, there are Argentina, Great Britain. The Spanish have got a very strong team for this 34-point mixed medley relay.
Brazil in 5 and France as well. France, we think, might be, as you said, making some changes possibly. Liz, they've had some people like Hugo Didier and Lauren Chardard take part in the individual events this morning, so the onus is on this team to get them through to the final. We think they may change their lineup for that final, but we shall see. So mixture of male, female, mixture of classifications. It's a 34-point relay, so classification numbers of all the teams have to add up to no more than 34 points. So things could change about significantly as we go through this one.
Yeah, going off in lane 2 for Argentina, it's Nicolas Neto. He's an S10 athlete. Sam Downey goes for Great Britain. He's an S8 athlete against Ingo Lopez Sanz, directly competitive there for the Spanish because he's an S8 athlete as well. Mariana Ribeiro leads off for Brazil. She's an S9 athlete. And Anaël Roulet of France, he has 10 swimmer for them on this backstroke leg. Argentina did lead down that first 50 metres. The black hat there in lane number 4 belongs to Lopez Sanz. He's going very well for Spain. We said Spain do have a very strong quartet.
Yeah, Spain with the champion in the S8 classification, Inigo Lopez Sanz, had a great backstroke. Spain are actually going with the same team that won them a silver medal last year at the World Championships. And Lopez Sanz just in front of the Argentinian team by 1/100th of a second. It's Anastasia Dimitrov, the 14-year-old, a real breaststroke star of the Spanish team. She's come through over the last couple of years or so. In for Argentina, it's Dani Jimenez, and also going well right up there in lane number 6. It's Hector Denaye, the bronze medalist, I should say, in the SB9 classification for France. So the male swimmer pulling up alongside the 2 female swimmers, and France should have a little bit of a lead as they come down to halfway.
Yeah, going well for Brazil now. Just coming into the turn, it is Juan Lima de Souza. He turns. He's an SB9 athlete. He's got a lot of ground to make up at the moment. Going well right at the top for France. Still is Denier. He had an excellent individual swim. Putting in a strong leg here. Argentina with Jimenez still holding on to that 3rd position at the moment as Lima de Souza starts to pull up level. Spain still in this as well. As entering the water for France now, it is Florent Marais on the butterfly leg. He swims in that S10 category.
Yeah, Florent Marais really has to get France a little bit of a lead here because they have Selene Sash on the final leg, and a very strong swimmer, Selene Sash, but she is an S5 female swimmer, so France really need to put a little bit of distance between themselves and the rest of the teams. Going well in lane number 5, it is, well, Felipe Rodriguez, bronze medalist in the World Championships in 100 butterfly in 2017. and also Jose Marie Alcaraz, the S9 swimmer. So the S10 for Brazil against the S9 for Spain. They're in the centre lane. Murray is bringing the French home at the minute, in just fighting it out for 4th and 5th, Argentina and Great Britain. But here is the Frenchman. Florent Murray is going to give Sash a bit of a lead. Is it going to be enough for the French to hold on here? Rodriguez and Marie Alcaraz well matched as we go into the final leg for Brazil and for Spain. Sarai Gascon in that final leg immediately goes ahead of the Brazilian.
Yeah, on the last leg for Brazil is Leila Suzagana-Bate. She's an S6 swimmer. So similar to the French, they've got their lower classification swimmers on the last leg. Bate is making progress on Sash at the moment, but Sarai Gascon, she swam an excellent anchor leg for Spain in the 20-point relay earlier in the week to come through for bronze. She's having a great week here in Manchester herself in the individual events, and she is going well here at the front for the Spanish team. The Brazilians are now into second, going well in lane number 3 for Great Britain is Oliver Carter. He's an S10 athlete, so you'd expect him to make a move through this field here.
Yeah, Great Britain have a very backloaded team there. The two S10s, Faye Rogers and Ollie Carter, on the final 2 legs, and they are pulling up very strongly. Gascon is going to take this one, but it is going to be Great Britain coming through for second place here. Sarai Gascon will take it for that very strong Spanish quartet, and it is going to be second to the host nation. Ollie Carter with a good swim here at the end, taking them ahead of the Brazilians. Suzagana-Bate and the Argentinian team with Basilov is going to overtake the French team here. So Basilov will be taking Argentina into 4th position, and the French are going to be in 5th here. So good swim, and as we said, Liz, things changing about. We knew the Spanish would be strong. They've got a well-balanced team, haven't they? 2 8s and 2 9s. Started off with the 2 S8, the S8, the SB8 on the first 2 legs, and the 2 S9s, Marie Alcaraz and Gascon, on the final 2 legs. Very well balanced. The other teams kind of almost mixing it about. Had to bring a lower class swimmer in, so some were a little bit slower at the start, some were a little bit slower at the end.
Yeah, well, sometimes you've got to swim with what you've got, and one of those examples of that team is that British team and the Spanish team. They've both got to swim with what they've got. Those combinations that they use, they're likely to be their final squad combinations as well. The risk when you bring heat swimmers in is, you know, that you then do lose out to those positions in the final. So relays are really, they're a game of tactics to the next level, especially when teams have a range of combinations that can work and individual programs to consider. So all eyes now will be on the next heat.
Well, not quite yet, Liz, because we haven't got confirmation of that yet.
I was getting ahead of myself, wasn't I? I just like to, I can't deal with the stress and the drama of these relay weights. Obviously, they've got, not only have they got to check all the relay takeovers and changeovers and things like that, each individual has their own classification exemptions that apply to their specific disabilities and the way that they swim their strokes, and when that's a medley, that's just multiplied. So there's lots for the officials to do now before they can put that result up on the board.
Yeah, all eyes are on the board at the minute. Spanish.
This is where I'm glad I'm up here forgetting about one bronze medal that my husband won at World Championships, rather than down there having to do that job. I'll take the hit.
The teams for the second heat of this one are coming out. Still waiting for confirmation of that one. We have 6 teams in the second heat. Well, that's Iona Winifred, isn't it?
It looked like Iona Winifred to me.
Yeah, she is in the front. I was at a competition that was at the British Juniors about a month ago. I'll tell you that in a minute as we see confirmation of that result. Spain in first place, Great Britain in second, Brazil, Argentina and France. That result is thankfully confirmed. Iona Winifred got won a competition, and the prize was tickets to this World Championship. So, obviously managed to take them. So, in that second heat, China will go in lane number 2. Another strong quartet for China. The Americans looking like they mean business in lane number 3. Australia with those yellow caps. They've got a strong quartet as well. Italy, got a very well balanced team. They go in lane number 5. The Canadians in 6. And Ukraine will complete the lineup over there in lane number 7. Some strong teams in this one, Liz.
Yep, this is definitely the heat, the loaded heat here.
So Zhu Jialing will go for China on the first leg, the S9 swimmer. There's Palazzo in the middle lane for Italy. Hannah Aston, backstroke Paralympic champion, she goes for the USA in lane number 3. Brendan Hall back in the water again for Australia, that yellow cap. So again, a mixture of female swimmers and male swimmers here. Brendan Hall, the male swimmer, going on that first leg, and he's been pressed in the early stages here by Hannah Aston. So Australia and the USA going off to a good start.
Yeah, Brendan Hall has been a world champion in the 100 metres backstroke. We saw him swimming earlier in the 400 metres freestyle. He'll be back for that final tonight, but he's doing his duty here on the relay as he leads off the Australians. They will be in the lead, as you would expect, down this first leg. Palazzo is on the backstroke for Italy. Newkirk for Canada. Kozova, she had an excellent swim individually last night for the Ukraine. And Zhu is in lane 2 for China.
Yeah, Brendan Hall just extending that lead there. They've gone with the 2 male swimmers first. But Brendan Hall hands over to Timothy Hodge. So S9 and SB8, the first 2 legs for Australia. Again, another well-balanced team, the Australians, with the 9s and the 8s. And in second position, still the USA, Morgan Ray, their S6 swimmer, SB6. So the Australians in the lead, but they have already used 17 points. The Americans in second, they'll only have used 15 points. And really close contest down the field here as these swimmers just come in to this turn on the breaststroke. Going well in lane number 6 is Canada, James Leroux, the SB9 swimmer, and also the Italians with Federico Morlacchi in the blue cap. And in lane number 2, China, who have gone again with the female swimmer in the first 2 legs. So it is all to play for still, but Australia out in front. Tim Hodge and Brendan Hall have got them a big lead in the early stages.
Yeah, they've got a very, very good quartet. 2 8s, 2 9s is a good, strong combination for a 34-point relay team as Emily Beecroft enters the water for the butterfly leg for the swimmers with the yellow caps in lane 4, Australia. Morgan Ray has now been caught by James Leroux. And Federico Morlacchi had a good leg for Italy as well. Amadeo goes now on the butterfly for Italy. In for Canada is Philippe Vachon. And for the United States is the man who's very much in form at these championships, Noah Jaffe. They're all 3 teams there in a line, but Beecroft still leads the way for Australia.
Yeah, it's still a commanding lead for the Australians. Very close for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Amadeo, Vachon and Jaffe. And Italy, Canada and the USA. But Emily Beecroft looking very, very relaxed indeed. The Australians are the world record holders. They set that when they won the title last year in Funchal. And they've got a very strong quartet here, but Beecroft leading them through. Amadeo bringing Italy through into 2nd position, just ahead of the Canadians, but Australia already away on their final leg.
Yeah, going in the water now, it is Ella Jones for Australia. She just missed out on a medal on day 1 in that 400 metres freestyle. Now the swimmers start to come back teams start to come back, with Scortacchini on the last leg for Italy. Alessio Scortacchini going well. Here also going well is Hunziker of Canada. They've backloaded their team in terms of their female athletes, the S10s. Now coming up to challenge Ella Jones of Australia, who's had the lead the whole way. This is the nature of the 34-point relay team. It's all starting to close up, bunch up a lot more than it did in heat number 1 as Italy draw level with 25 metres to go.
Yeah, the 3 S10s chasing the Australian S8 female swimmers almost all the way here, with the exception of Zhu Haizhou from China, who's coming through strongly. Scortacchini is going to get this one. Ella Jones is going to hold on to second place here. Good swim there from the Australian to hold on to that second place. In third place, it was Hunsinger for Canada. Zhu Haizhou just getting ahead of Audrey Kim of the USA. And that is the top 5 positions. The Ukrainians, who've had some success in the 20-point relay, are still to finish this 34-point relay, but very close at the front of the field there. Ella Jones was caught by Scortacchini, but that was the only team that caught her. Hunsiker had a good last leg, couldn't quite make up the distance to the Australians. So these teams, if that result is confirmed, of course, should make their way to the final. Very close indeed. Scortacchini, a good last leg for the Italians. Again, a balanced team for the Italians, and Ella Jones did a good job for Australia on that last leg.
She did, and sometimes you can almost get feel like you're unlucky if you're on the last leg and you are the lowest class, one of the lowest classifications in your team, if your team has been front loaded on points, because it looks like you're not going as fast as you could. But that's not how this 34-point relay team works. In fact, the Australians have swum for years where they've front loaded their team and then had maybe an S7 on their last leg. So it does happen. The Brazilians have often done it the other way around, where they've had an S5 on their front leg and they'd have to come from 75 metres down. So it really isn't over till it's over, and every member of the quartet plays their part in this team.
Still waiting for confirmation of that one. All eyes on the officials again. Oh, I think we might have some disqualifications this time, by the looks of things. Well, yeah, 2 disqualifications, and it does affect, well, one of the final places. Italy confirmed there as winners of that heat. Australia are okay, Canada are okay, USA are okay. They will make the finals. But it looks like China and Ukraine have been disqualified, so making it through to the final. Spain lead the way, Italy in second, Australia in third, Great Britain right in with a good chance of a medal as well, the host nation. Canada, USA, Brazil are in there, and Argentina, well, they will benefit from that disqualification of China, and they will make it into that final. Well, Spain looking good, but we don't know what the other teams have got left in the tank, Liz, for tonight.
No, that's going to be a very, very exciting race to finish on, and it'll be interesting when we receive the final start sheets with the teams on them for that.
Well, we will wait with bated breath for those team sheets to come out tonight. It's going to be another exciting night here in Manchester. That is the end of the session this morning, the heat session of day 5 of these championships, and we will be back later on tonight at 5:30 Manchester time for some exciting finals tonight. 25 more world titles will be handed out tonight. It's going to be another great night. But from myself, Paul Noble, and Liz Johnson, it's bye for now. Be back at 5:30 tonight. Don't miss it.